All right, welcome everyone to Malika's Flex. We are on part two of the series. Is the grass truly greener on the other side? Jamaican teachers speak up. Today we have with you all two guests. One guest not fully in as yet, but we have Chantal at the moment, and we're gonna see if our other guests can get in. She's having a few technical difficulties at the moment, but let's hope that she'll be able to get in. All right. In the meantime, just to recap, last week we spoke about some of the financial struggles, but we didn't get too deep into it. We spoke about, not having enough lunchtime. We spoke about um just a few things. And hi, Mark. You came back. Hey, Mark. Right. So we spoke about a few things, and we didn't get into everything. I think we got through like two or three questions, but let's get started with Chantel. Chantal, what you call yourself?
Chantal, thank you. Don't spoil it now. We know
Sorry,
each other from primary school. From primary school. Don't do this.
but I always say Chantel for some reason. I always say
Uh-uh.
Chantel.
And I hate when people do that. Like it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, we're here with Chantal. Chantal, please go ahead and just give a little introduction for yourself, where you're from, where you live now, whatever other information you want to give. You can be as vague or as specific as you want to be. Go ahead.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Chantal Pinnock. I am teacher of Spanish and French. That's what I studied in Jamaica. However, while being here in the US, I'm just teaching Spanish at in Georgia. Taught in Jamaica for I would say 5 years. Well, so this I'm still in my fifth year of teaching, and yeah, that's all I have to say. And I'm from Saint Anne. Yeah, we got my nice clean parish, of course. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Chantal. Tani still having a little bit of an issue entering. We're gonna do just a few different questions from last time, but I'm also gonna do some similar ones. And I want to start out by asking you what inspired you to leave your country of residence, Jamaica, to come to the US to teach.
All right. For me, it was more on the financial aspects, whereas I really wanted to save some more money. And being on a Jamaican teacher salary and having certain goals, personal goals to meet, it was hard for me to divide my money into other things that I really wanted to do while still paying bills. And so I was saying that if I'm making money in a currency that's stronger, it would help to elevate me financially. So that's
Right.
one of the reasons why I decided to do so. Another reason was that I've never been to the US before. And I'm like, all right, so why not go there just to make some money and then you can explore? So that
Yeah.
was one of the reasons as well. And I just wanted something new. I got used to what it's like teaching in Jamaica, and I wanted to challenge myself to see what I can actually do outside of my comfort zone.
Okay. All right. And then further down, we will be discussing whether that was a good move or not. But for now, let me ask. We're just doing the surface level questions for now. And for anybody tuning in, this is just a conversation between Chantal and myself, and you guys are just happen. You just happen to be listening in on our conversation. Of course, y'all can put your questions in the chat box, and we'll try to get to them as best as possible. But yeah, this is me and Chantal, or Chantal and I. All right, Chantal. So you left your country because you wanted better
Yeah.
financial opportunities. What was it like getting here, like in terms of finding somewhere to live? Because you're starting over. You're starting over.
Yeah.
There's a process in Jamaica, so how to get somewhere to rent. But
Mhm.
what was it like getting here, getting somewhere first of all for you to live?
Okay, so on the aspect of finding somewhere to live, I had started out looking on my own and with persons that I know. For example, you, Malika, you were of great help in that situation. It didn't work out, didn't find somewhere. However, the program that I'm on, they found somewhere for me, and it's a case where it's a group situation. So they found an apartment, and we share apartment with like a group of persons. So it's good actually knowing that we have somewhere to stay. So if it is that you're out there looking and you on your own is not finding somewhere, the company will find somewhere to place you.
Hold on, Chantal, I want to welcome Tanika.
Hi, Malika. Hi, Chantal. Sorry about that. I
Ah,
inadvertently pressed do not allow access, and then I had to go. Listen, I'm not technologically savvy. I
It's
must,
fine.
I, I
fine.
must
It's
say.
fine.
So yeah. All
Welcome,
right.
Tanika.
Thank you
Um,
for having me.
so Chantal shared just now about why she left her country. Could you also share why you left your country to teach in the US, or, you know, briefly hold on, sorry, you just got to the live. I want people to know who you are as well. Briefly share where you're from, where you're living now. You can be as vague or as specific as you want to be, and then get into why you perhaps left your country. Just share as much as you want to.
Okay. I'm from St. Catherine, Old Harbour to be exact. Um, I taught for about 7 years back home. Yeah, about 7 years, 6 years, 7 years back home. I came to the US not through one of the programs, but my husband, he is a US citizen, and I came over via that route.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Michael. Hoot, hoot. I know you're all short, short tonight.
It's
Most of
fine.
you, yes. And
Chantal as well.
my degree is in secondary education, social studies, with a minor in history. So yes, and I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Wisconsin currently.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tani. So I'm putting all these questions to both of you all now. And I want to just head straight into it. No dilly dally. So I want to just know, what are some of the similarities? Let me start with similarities in terms of how your school operates and how a Jamaican school operates. What are some of the similarities? What can people expect? In terms of similarities, it could be workload, it could be, you know, how students interact with you, just different things. Anything that you think is similar between, the Jamaican school operation and your own right now. Let's start with you, Tani.
Oh,
I
I
know
thought
Chantal is on
Chantal
the
would.
road. Chantal
All
is
right,
on the road about to get home. So I know, she has to be paying attention to where she's going as well. So I'm gonna start with
okay,
you, Tani.
all right, all right. The similarities and differences. Let us start out with off with the good, because I normally want to start with the good.
But we're doing the
Um,
similarities mainly now before we head into the differences. Come on, know the differences can no.
all right. Lesson planning is a focal point back home. I know some of us back home, lesson planning, especially if you have been doing it for a few years, you think you have it under control, so you can always just readily go and teach a lesson without, just scratching something out or whatever. Here
Yeah.
it's like you have to submit them like 2 weeks in advance. I teach AP Government and Politics here. It's a
Mm-hmm.
college course that students can do, and if they are successful, they get that credit before they go into college, and they don't have to do it in college.
Right.
So yeah, so 2 weeks in advance, you have to submit that to your. Normally, you have a coach, what we would call a HOD back home. They call
Right.
him a coach, and most times it's the assistant principal who is your coach, or someone like that. Even the principal sometimes is the one who, and you don't write it. Like back home, we would write lesson plans. They don't write. You upload them to a drive, so you have your shared folder there where you upload them to, and things like that. I heard you guys last week talking about some bell ring or something.
Yeah.
We call it do nows. We call it the do
Mm-hmm.
nows. So those things have to be featured in your lesson plan. What you will have the students do in the first 5 minutes of the class and things like that. And yeah, so
You just mentioned that
Nabiki.
you have the
Hold on.
coaches.
yeah.
Me speak a little bit, Chantal. You mentioned that you have the coaches where you guys are, and that it's similar to an HOD back home. How similar would this role be? Because I've had people ask me before, if I migrate to the US as a teacher, can I possibly get the status of HOD? And what would that entail? Could you explain to the people what that really means where you are?
All right, back home, my HOD would mark my lesson plan. I have seen, because you know it's a computer where they attach those with a notation to the side. So last week I heard one of your guests said that they don't know if their lesson plan, if they were marked or not, or something to that
Mhm.
effect. Mine, I can say that because sometimes you leave out some of the part them because it's a lot. People, if you don't write lesson plan like I didn't like to write back home, it's laborious here. Sometimes you get a form. I heard Devon talk about the form where you can fill it out and whatever, but sometimes it asks you a lot like the standards. What is the standard in your state? And you have to write your standards on your board, or you have to write your standards in a lesson plan. And a lot of things are required. Your do now is required in your lesson plan.
Mhm.
So they do mark hours, and the HOD back home, probably you would have a HOD that is more laid back, especially if you have been in the field for a while. Here, I have observations that are not announced. They just walk in. You see somebody walking a class with a clipboard, and you're there.
Funny,
So it's
when I was in
like,
Jamaica, I used to have observations. Um, I used to have observations without anybody telling me that they were coming.
oh, okay.
You used
Well,
to have people telling you that they were coming?
yeah, my HOD
Yes,
used to
right.
be like, um,
Chantal,
bring a
unmute.
her face looked like she had said, what am I saying? But yeah, that's what I can say that I normally have on schedule or
Mm-hmm.
unplanned observations. And it's not that I don't mind because I'm always trying to be on task with my students and things like that. But
Right.
sometimes I would like to know that you're coming because yeah, but
Okay.
I do that. But the HOD and the coaches here, it's a similar role in a lot of sense. They look over your lesson plan. They will help you. I have weekly meetings, which I never weekly meetings with my coach, like do my prepared
But it's
weekly.
also the subject that you're teaching, right? Because I don't have weekly meetings, but I think because you're teaching the AP subject,
No,
perhaps
no,
no.
it's right across the board because
Wow.
even other teachers that I have spoken to, that
Can you
they
remind
have
people of the state that you are in?
I'm in Wisconsin. I'm in
Okay.
Wisconsin. And but then again, Malika, a lot of things we need to understand. Each state, each district, education is not a broad thing like down a yard where you have MOE and then everything else falls under. It's
Right.
a state by state, district by district, county by county. It is different.
Mm-hmm.
It is a different shade of gray as you go, and then you have let me want for a better the political side of education here that a lot of us probably don't want to talk about because we don't want to get involved in that. But
Mm-hmm.
the political side of education here is that you have some districts that are more funded than others, that are way better funded than others. So you'll go to school and you go to schools and you'll see extracurricular activity or co-curricular activity, whatever you want to call them, that are, and then you will go to some other districts where you see they can hardly find chairs. And believe it, people, you have states in America where you can't find chairs to sit on. Yes.
Yep. That
Yes.
was actually something that shocked me as well because that's
Hmm.
an issue that I'm having.
Okay.
Um, it's not a big issue, but it does take a while when I request chairs because like sometimes I'll have a small group, but there are other times when I may have like a one class that is really large and I just
Hmm.
don't have the amount of chairs. So yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm like, big USA.
Hello, 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 hello. Somebody pick up on the other line. Hello, and that's not the only thing. Trust me. But so a lot of time, because I must be frank, I told myself I didn't come over and come into teaching. Chantal, why you not talking? I feel like I'm talking too
No,
much.
I'm waiting. No, I'm
No,
waiting
see,
until you
Chantal, the
finish.
thing
I
is,
didn't want to interject.
no, Chantal, you can
I'm
interject as you
sorry.
want. The thing though is, Chantal, you're kind of frozen from your end. So
Yeah,
your
she said.
video,
Really?
yes,
Yeah.
video is frozen. We can hear you fine though. We can hear you fine.
Hold on. Are
Yeah,
you seeing me now?
we're seeing your frozen video.
I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know
moving a
what
little bit
happened.
now. Are you connected to your Wi-Fi?
Well, I was using the hotspot from my phone.
All right, maybe I can join in with your phone instead, or and just use that directly because I know sometimes the hotspot kind of slow things down. But we can hear you fine though, so you can chime in anytime.
All
It's
right,
remember
I'm gonna
it's just
change it and connect to my Wi-Fi.
all
Hold
right, cool,
on,
no problem.
because I am
But
home.
Tani, why I asked you though specifically about HODs is you know how the system is in Jamaica. Many, and I
Yeah.
don't just say HODs, but senior teachers. Many
Mhm.
people in Jamaica, many teachers in Jamaica aspire, if not immediately, as soon as they leave college, but after working some time in a Jamaican classroom, you start to aspire to be a senior teacher because what? Not because you love responsibility, but if we're being honest, you hear that you get a little bit more money to be a senior teacher. So I'm asking you if the whole thing is similar when you have a
Oh,
AOD, because I want people to truly understand what it is before you
all
head
right.
into it. I'm gonna go into
Mhm.
my county. You can think about it, Chantal. You can speak about yours as well.
Okay.
Um, at my school, I know that we have something called a team lead. The team
Mm.
lead slightly operates as an HOD, but the responsibility isn't the same as in Jamaica, where they would mark your lesson plans, they come to assess you and all these things. The team lead for us at my school basically just texts you to give you information like, oh, the principal just sent a message, an email, you guys need to check it ASAP, or something very, just something simple. And they don't get extra money every month. They get a little stipend at the end of the year, and that's it. Talk to me, Chantal, and then talk to me, Tani.
All right, for me, I'm at a middle school, so I don't have an HOD since I teach Spanish, and
Mm-hmm.
Spanish is not a core content subject there. It's like an elective.
Mm-hmm.
So my team leader just basically comes and she's responsible for all the connections teacher.
Right.
Connection teachers is what they refer to us as.
And guys, just for
And she
context, Chantal
would
and I are in a similar situation. We're both middle school, both teaching Spanish. Continue.
Yeah, so she would give us information on what is it to be done. For example, we have STEM Day coming up and or responsibilities as teachers in order to bring send in our STEM lesson plans and how is it that we're going to
Mm-hmm.
execute these plans, to remind us that lesson plans are due, or to remind us that hey, you guys have to put up the setup for family night or any event that we are responsible for as connection teachers. So it's just basically that, but we don't have an HOD per se to say, all right, so you're going to send all the lesson plans to me and I'm going to mark them and correct them and give them back to you. Yes, we do submit the lesson plans.
Right.
But honestly, my lesson plans, they just go to the VP and they don't really check it. It's not like in Jamaica when I submit a lesson plan and they mark it up. And
Right.
send it back like, do not use this adjective in or do
In
not
the
use
lesson
this
plan or change
verb
this
in
activity.
your objectives and whatever. Like nobody really cares. They just want to know that your lesson plan has been submitted
Right.
and it's on time. As it relates to the similarities and differences, though, that you both were speaking on earlier, for me, the similarities, Tammy had covered most of them. Some that I'll touch on is the fact that the old school that I was at, they they used to communicate a lot through emails.
That's in
And so
Jamaica.
being
Just to
here,
be
yeah,
clear.
in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
so in Jamaica, my school, they communicated a lot through emails, and I got used to that. Sorry, I got
No
used to
problem.
that. So coming here, they do the same thing. So that's a similarity for me. Another thing is the meetings. Oh, in Jamaica, my school had a lot of meetings. Well, not as a lot as now, but the
Mm.
I was used to the whole meeting thing. So here what I love is that they designate a day for that meeting, like ELBC day, extended learning beyond the classroom. And they'll be like, okay, so teachers should report to school, students should not, and we're going to have a professional development meeting. We used to have that in Jamaica. However, it's a case where coming up to the holiday, we would have to sacrifice one of our days before the holiday is over or before
Like
the
we're having
holiday.
Ash Wednesday, and we have 3 days or
Yeah,
something. One of the days is for
yeah.
the professional development.
Professional development. Over here, they just put it within the work week, and we know that okay, Friday is going to be meeting day, and so students will not show up to class, show
Mm.
up to school, but teachers will show up to school, and we just have the meeting, and that's it. So I do like that. Um, yeah, as it relates to the differences, though, there are quite a few differences that I
Hold on,
have
hold
seen.
on,
Like,
hold on, hold on. Hold
yeah,
on for the difference them. Hold
it
on for the
it
difference
different
them.
bad. It different.
Hold on
As my country friend would say, and this is not grammatically correct to say, is a differenter something. Yeah, different bad.
Tani, how does it work in terms of your HODs? Chantal spoke about it, and I agree with Chantal that we're in a similar situation. But you're teaching AP. What does that look like? Do they get extra money? All
All right. Listen, and this is an opportune time. I am not trying to get political on your thing, Malika,
right.
or anything, but this is an opportune time. Let me. I was watching Law and Order. Let me turn this thing down or turn mute it. Um, this is an opportune time for teachers because I know a lot of people don't at home are up in arms about what the government has tabled and
Mhm.
um. I hear that JT. I've been reading. I've been following the story,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
guys, I can't tell you what to do. I cannot tell you what to do back home because it's an individual choice
Yeah.
and it's a personal choice. And but one thing I don't like with Jamaicans, when you try to give some, let me not broad brush my countrymen and women. What you hear that you're bad man and, and I don't like that. That's why I don't like to tell people because I am not coming from the program perspective.
Yeah.
I know several individuals. I, I I want to say persons, but because the children have been attacking me in the classroom, it's not persons. That's another
Yep.
thing. But
Yep. Yep.
yeah, but that's another thing. But yeah, I must say the workload is heartbreaking, backbreaking hard here. It's not and I am not a lazy person. I like teaching. I went into teaching, not just out of high school, but I worked before, whatever. Long story short, but it's a lot. The meetings that Shanta listen, every Friday we have PD. Eh, Listen,
Monday and
man.
Wednesday too. Monday and
Listen, man.
Wednesday. Every
Listen,
Monday and
listen,
Wednesday.
listen.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fridays that day to get out of Dodge. Me no want. Oh, you have people from other. Fridays a day to get out of the classroom and go home to relax for the weekend. Every Friday we have PD. I'm used to PD being, as Chantal said, and you guys said, like coming up to Easter break. Now you know you go sacrifice one day. You go school. Students are not there. You go and we principal, vice principal, um, whoever your grade supervisors, whatever, and they said this is the way forward, and we want to look at this data. How can we do whatever? One day, every single Friday, we have PD, and it's some repetitious things where I tell them to listen. I don't know how long I go to, but yes, it's very painstaking. And then
Mm-hmm.
not only that, almost every morning we have a meeting too. These emails, these emails that man, I don't really read emails. I must confess, but the emails are never ending. Everything they communicate with you through email. So, see them send me a thing. So me have fishing, me fishing thing. Me fi do some fishing seminar, and it passed due. I didn't see it because I don't go in there. I But these things, if you don't like these things, it's going to come at you, and it can throw you into a headspace like a lot of information coming at you at once, and how do I
Yeah.
mark which one is important, which one do I act on, which one do I do. And then students have your email, so it's not back home, and because they do, technology is a very high priority here. Students will be emailing you. You will not see them at your class for the entire semester, but as exam come, they will email you and their grades and things like that. And yeah, so you have to be there trying to prioritize. But speaking to the money, because that's what they're here for, the money part of it. Most of these
I
things
was
they
asking for
don't.
the money for HODs, for people who are in leadership, like
Mm-mm,
team leads. Do they get
Remember,
paid for that on a daily
Malika,
basis?
between me and you and Chantal and everybody so you have on your platform, every single teacher I've met here, people who are American, people not on the program, not, because apart from my Jamaican counterparts who I know came over on the program, most of these people here have second jobs. The
They
the
do.
the
Yeah.
money that you're paid the principals have second jobs. How dare you go to the principal of Jamaica for go get second job? You know what? You're
Most
crazy.
of my
We
colleagues. Yeah.
listen. We have what they call
But Connie, one would
doses.
ask, but not to cut you, but one would ask, do they have a second job because they literally need the money or because it's just accessible? Because we also
Ma,
have to remember that
ma,
in
ma,
Jamaica,
ma,
we don't have a lot of flexible jobs where we can do a second job easily. Like we can't
Malika,
sit on a KFC, and it's just kind of different.
Malika, let me tell you, Chantal, bear with me. If you talk to them, and if we know Jamaicans and we know our Americans flex,
Correct.
they will tell you their business.
Mm-hmm.
The money not enough, because that is why, and if we are true to ourselves, that is why they need teachers from the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
because teachers are leaving the US system in droves because the money is not sufficient. I saw where Bernie Sanders, he's an American senator, and he was saying, please to make it a base, make it federal law that all teachers get paid like 60,000 a year. You have teachers who are starting like from $38,000. Do the math. Do the math. If you have 12 months of the year and you are getting $38,000 or $40,000 of the year, and you break that up, some people get it monthly. I get paid bi-weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not at that end because they also take into consideration your years of teaching back home and your degree. So they will start you a little higher up on the scale dependent on where you are.
I
But
mean, if it is that you're here on a program and you're getting the money, it feels easier than if you're living here as a resident and is a teacher, because you have to take into and not just on the program too. You have to take into consideration whether you have kids, um, whether you have a spouse, or are you a single parent. Because when you look at it, you say you get 3,500 after tax, you have to take into consideration that, hey, if I have a family, I can't rent a one bedroom apartment
mm-hmm,
because I might be a mom with two kids, so you're going to have a two bedroom.
mm-hmm,
And depending on the county that you're placed, rents can range, well, and the county and the state that you're placed in, because you
mm-hmm,
have some states like South Carolina where you might can get a two bedroom for 500 to $800 thereabout, which is not bad. Of course, their pay is going to be lower because the cost of living there
Is
is lower.
lower.
So you're
Right.
gonna look at it and you're gonna say, "Oh, look a bit of money that," but the cost of living there is lower. But say, for example, you are where I am, and you are making that amount of money that I had mentioned before, and your rent is like for what, a two bedroom can range from what, say 1,200
I can say mine
or
is
one thousand one
1350.
hundred, yeah, up, right? You have a family. So that's just rent. And then you have to take into consideration that not all apartments or not all houses have utilities included. So you have to pay gas, you have to pay water, you have to pay light, you have to pay health insurance for your kids and yourself. And you have to take into consideration that you might need a car, right? If it is that you buy the car cash, it's cheaper. So you know really have to pay that big loan there one time. And so all of that into consideration, I can understand why a teacher who is a
Mm-hmm.
resident here, not a resident, who is a citizen here, wants to leave the classroom, because you're going to want a house in the future, and you're gonna think about mortgage and all of that. Plus food here expensive. Say you're getting the same 3,500, cause me no know, but no no no. But me eat enough. You know, that. The little sweet potato them done. I have to buy more sweet potato. Me not understand how them are done because them coming like paper. So me just eat down the place, and I like some I spend $500 on groceries. I'm not like $500 $600. I would
Are you
say
willing to
maybe
share
the
what you would?
most
Yeah.
350 thereabout. Because
For you
sometimes
want
you
Chantal?
might go out. Yeah, I don't want to
I'm shocked
put
though.
it
I'm
out there.
genuinely shocked because that's what my husband and I. Well, we pay like 50, like $400 for the month, 500, 350 for you one Chantal for groceries.
Because me cook every day. Me
Cook
cook.
too.
Well, maybe it's not just groceries as it relates to food alone. Cause may I calculate like some days when me no feel for cook and me order something. So
Okay,
me
okay,
calculate that
okay,
in
okay.
it.
Got it, got it. Cool.
So I just put that there. And then
But
sometimes it's not just groceries that you buy. You have to think about other little things, like maybe you buy something to clean your bathroom or whatever. I
Mhm.
calculate that as grocery.
Right. Okay, got
But
it.
in comparison to where, and sometimes you really go, and you take up to something and you reach $100. Like if you go
Yeah.
Publix, which may not go up there, so
but,
cause may not have them money there.
But go
but
Walmart.
But
Publix money.
but
it all depends on how much you, yeah, yeah, look on it. Yeah,
eh,
it can be a lot. Plus the
Ch-
workload is a lot. I can
Ch-
understand why they leave the classroom,
no, but
honestly.
Chantal, but in all honesty, living whether resident, citizen, visiting, well, me not gonna put visiting, because visiting you come, your people will shuttle you around for a few days, a few weeks, until you go back to your yard. So until you leave. I must remember. I like to use my vernacular, because I like talk, and I'm a part of them people not understand what I say, but I have to remember that Malika has wide audience. But
People.
living is different. Living here, whether you're a resident or you come up on the program, living is living. And that's what a lot of teachers come here to do, to live, because that's one of our biggest growths back home is the money. And dollar for dollar, pound for pound, for me, it not work out, because a lot of times we're looking at, not a lot of times, we're looking at the exchange rate, right?
Yeah.
But by the time you're done, live here, there's nothing left to send home to exchange. It all right. Let me give you a scenario why I said that. I'm talking to a teacher. She's an American, them in the system long time and whatever. And she's saying like, after you are done, and granted that we have the what me fi say in our blood. Most of us Jamaicans, we like to save, because we grew up on like a partner, or we grew up on certain like saving things sometime, and we always squeeze and make. I must say some. Me not go broad brush people in, because me no want to say whoever my American, but they are different, and they will have student loans to pay. So do some of us back home too, and whatever. I want to calculate it up, Chantal and Malika and audience. It I mean, I don't know if I've seen recently with inflation going up, or it has been this for a long time. But dollar for dollar, sometimes you have to say, no man, something not match up, something not add up. You must have subtract somewhere down the line. It not add up, because you speak to the food and you speak to the other expenses and things like that. And if you want somewhere genuine to live, genuinely nice to live. Me not say you're going in the most opulent community and the most affluent and the most big house, you're gonna look for rent. But if you want somewhere proper to live, because me not think you want to leave Jamaica under certain circumstances and come catch up and come and reside somewhere else where not tanto sense. It doesn't make sense. You want to live somewhere where it is you can't open your door and a bat now fight if you go in the rat now run it down a chop off your foot. No, you want somewhere nice to live. And if you some of these times when you go to the $500 place, we must talk, say a roommate is like a hostel type of situation where several other people live there. Me not like share my bathroom with not even me picnic them. Much more with somebody else.
Like for me personally, I think if you're coming here, you have to just come with the mindset that you're gonna save money, but then there's some sacrifices that you might have to make.
And
And mhm,
Chantal, that's where I beat up a lot of our Jamaican teachers. And uno take me to task, and uno tell me something if you come back and me, uno can cuss me as uno want, but I don't care. That is why I take a lot of my Jamaican teachers to task. A lot of things that we are willing to put up with up here. We're not touching discipline yet. We are willing to put up with up here. We will turn out a classroom like a Jamaica, and we go sit in a staff room, and we huff and we puff and we blow the house down, the tree like a pig. And we are not doing it up here. So a lot of people will come here with the mindset, oh, I am going to send back. If I'm $50 every month, me I eke it out, me I go dig it out, and me I go send it back and me have a goal back home. But if a Jamaican want to put on a $5,000 pan Sagicor, me not advertise nobody or Scotia Mint or whatever.
Right.
We find every ways and means to tell ourselves that we can't put on a $5,000 yard, But we
that
come at
$5,000
Jamaica.
of money.
Right. I'm gonna come a foreign, but we are sending $50. If you work out the $50, it may give 6,000 something dollar back home or 7,000 based on the conversion rate. But
Exchange
it's the
rate.
same mindset. And I sat and I look at it and I said, we are unfair. A lot of the teachers who are jumping ship and coming here, we are unfair. We are
But
very
Tani,
unfair.
let me stop you a little bit. Let
Well,
me stop you a little bit.
Me know I'm not gonna beat me, I'm not
Wait,
crucified, but
well,
so
well.
hold on.
crucify me.
I want to stop you a little bit. And I see Chantal itching to say something. I come in
Yes.
Chantal. I don't want it to seem as if, because I see Maydeen already in the comments saying Jamaicans think of better roses. But we have to remember, Chantal said it earlier on, it can
Mm-hmm.
be a bed of roses for some people. It can be a bed of roses because it depends once again,
On your
if you
plan,
have
your
kids,
strategy.
the county that you're in, because some counties do pay well. Some
Yeah.
But
counties do pay
Malika,
well.
and I must interject there before you go on. Remember, as I said before, teachers in the US, American teachers are leaving the classroom. People are not going to get up and leave well-paying jobs for.
No, but
Yes, you
Tani, hold on,
change.
man. Hold on a
Mm-hmm.
little bit,
All
Tani.
right. All
Why
right.
I want to put this argument forward at the same time. I
Mm-hmm.
think that most of us who leave Jamaica as teachers are humbler. What is the correct English term? Is it humbler or more humble? What is better to say? Tasha in the comments, somebody with the English tell me what the better thing to say. But anyway, we are more humble or we're humbler, whichever is the best English word or phrase,
Mm-hmm.
than some US citizens. When I say citizens, natives.
Yes.
Being, I've realized that the culture here, or at least where I am, people like to be in the latest Jordans all the time. People like to get a certain
Being the latest.
hairstyle, certain price here, certain luxuries. People like to be in the Benz and the Bimmer. When I would go take up a Nissan or a Toyota, some people want to be in certain type of cars. And I find that as Jamaicans, some of us are willing to live a humbler lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that we obviously we came for a better lifestyle, but some of us will live similar to how we were living in Jamaica, and so we'll be able to save more than a regular US native.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to quickly just touch on this because I'm looking in the comments. I'm seeing where Tashana was saying that she know of people who are getting in South Carolina who are earning $5,000. But I want to put it out there, everybody, and I've said it before multiple times on my YouTube, that you can't look at what one person is earning anywhere, because it all boils down to the starting salary for that county.
Mm-hmm.
Single county, Georgia has over 100 counties, and that's Georgia alone. And each
Mm-hmm.
county has their own salary range. And your
Mm-hmm.
salary is based on your experience and your qualification. So if you're somebody who has a master's and you have 5 years teaching experience, maybe you're earning $5,000, and somebody who has a degree who has 5 years experience is earning $3,000. It all depends on multiple things. So we can't just look and say, well, I know somebody earning $5,000. Chantal said it before. It depends on the area that you live
Yeah.
in. If the
Yeah.
cost of living is high in that area, naturally, like people in New York, maybe teachers in New York can say, well, I am earning $7,000 more. Then I'm gonna say, yo, that nothing, man.
But then
$7,000
what's the
every
rent
month.
in New York
But the
What
now?
rent
is
is
the
only
rest?
$4,000.
Fewer matches box.
Probably
Fewer, fewer
$4,000.
matches box. Fewer matches box.
So we can't
Like
look
as
at
a
it as when we know people earning $5,000. So you have to get that out your mindset. As soon as you get an offer and you see how much you will be earning, just start to do your research. What is the rent like in this area? What will food cost, etc., etc. Chantal,
you touch on a you said a word there that I really do agree with.
more
Like
humble.
if you're
Sorry,
coming
Tashana
here
said
to
more
me,
humble.
yeah,
Sorry.
if you're coming here on the program, come
Hmm.
with a very, very, very
Open mind.
open mind, a determined mindset, and a humbled mindset.
Hmm.
Why? I think you should just come here with a strategy. For me, I came here with the
Is it?
intention of living in an apartment by myself and everything. You know, the life that you see on YouTube of America is not the life that you're going to get as a teacher here, right? So you have to be mindful of that. So there are certain sacrifices that you might have to make. And at first, it will feel very overwhelming. But then in the end, you might look at it and say, this was a better choice that God had planned for me because then it worked out. So I came here and I wanted to stay alone, but then I had to be placed in a group setting where I have housemates and everything. And I'm not telling no lie, at first I was very overwhelmed with all
Right.
of that. It took
Hmm.
a toll on me mentally. However, because you're coming, I'm 27 years old. I've been on my own for a while. I am out of this roommate housemate setting for since college. So it feels as if I'm taking a step back in life to just come back into a situation like that at this age in life. So it took a toll on me mentally. I am not going to lie. And there are days when I just wanted to go home to just feel. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I love my housemates. I love them so much. But it makes you feel like you don't have, that sense of independence anyway. Make you feel like a child again. Because
Right.
then you feel like you're back in college. However, when months afterwards I started looking on life and I'm like, if I came here and had gone in an apartment by myself and everything, paying all that rent for 1,000 odd, and plus I take Lyft to and fro, Lyft and Uber to and fro to
Oh,
school and back from school,
wow. That's a
I
lot.
would not be saving
Yeah,
money.
that's a lot
But
of
there
money.
yeah,
Yep.
but there are four of us here. And so that rent and utilities is split in four. And
Hmm.
it's a blessing in disguise because I'm now able to save more. Mind you,
Hmm.
that some persons have families, and when you come here, you might be in a situation where you are married and you have kids, but you still have to share first an
Right.
apartment first with somebody else before you can go on your feet and everything, because maybe that's how your program sponsor will place you, seeing the
Hmm.
cost of living in that city, until you're able to save for the entire year and you can go out on your own and get, or and you don't have to wait until the entire year, because there are persons who did it before the year, who went off on their own and got their families up here. So that's one thing, that's one sacrifice. I would say come with an open mindset. If you're placed in that position, just
Hmm.
go through it. I mean, if me can't go through it, I'm not tell us I'm gonna go through it with little tears. Me not tell us I'm gonna put on one little 1, 2 cry.
Your ball,
3, 4, 5,
Chantal,
6, 7,
Chantal,
8,
Chantal.
9, 10,
Your ball,
1,500. Me not
Your
telling all
ball,
I'm
your
bad.
ball.
But what I can say is that this year I just become more open. Like I started exercising, I started communicating more, and I am so glad that I'm in the situation, because sometimes I have a hard day at work and it's not like I go to work and talk to people. So I come home and I have my housemate them can talk to and
It's
vent to,
different
and
from
I
Jamaica.
laugh with. I feel good. So that's one thing. Another thing, if you're coming here, ensure that you eat well. Please don't come over here and be eating all these fast food and everything, because when you get sick and they slap you with that hospital bill, my dear, I have $700 to pay that hospital, and all I went down there to do was a blood test. I don't know how a blood test come up to 1,300 and odd, and this is all my insurance covered. So that's what I'm telling you, strategy. I'm
But
not saying anything to scare you. You can save this money if you strategize. So when you come with an open mind. If you're placed in a group setting, it's fine, girl. It's a blessing in disguise. Stay there and make that money
Mm-hmm.
until you can get your family over here. Secondly, ensure that you eat right and you exercise, so and monitor your stress levels so that you don't end up becoming sick and have to go to the hospital and pay this and pay that. Sure, your insurance will cover certain things, but if it goes too far where certain things the insurance can cover, you know them are bill you. Secondly, do not fall into the hype of competing with people. The life of America that you see on YouTube is not the life that you're going to get as a teacher being here. It's a totally different thing. So just know that the kind of cars that you see everybody driving may not be the kind of car that you get to drive. You might have to start at a lower year, or even if you're taking a loan, like not take out nothing too extravagant. Just know that you stay in your zone, because at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, the plan is to make money so that you can send back home. While you're here, however, a dollar is a dollar, and you might feel as if, boy, me did think I'm come up here, I could have buy 3, 4, 5 wig, and I just the one wig you can't wear. Girl, me look like Dora every day, but me cute. I'ma just go on with my wig. I just go on with my one wig. I just know say, boy, I had $135 day. You see, if this month I spend $400 on something, next month I ain't spending on nothing extra other than my bills. And then the other month, I might save towards something else. Strategize your savings. Because let me tell you, you can save and put back a money. But if you're going to try to compete with the American dream, that's where you won't save anything. And yeah, so I just some look at it. And in the classroom, it's going to be a lot as it relates to the differences. There, as you said, Tani said that there are certain things that we put up with in Jamaica where when we
We
don't want to
wouldn't
put up
put
with
up
in a
with in
Jamaica, we'll
Jamaica.
come over here and we have to put up with it. Trust
It,
me, there are a lot of things that I have to put up with. Like
I'll
at
start
my
by
school,
telling
I'm
you
a
that straight up
security
bad
guard.
word.
I'm a security guard. We call myself security guard because I have a
well
certificate
on
in the
Chantal,
weapon.
before you get into the them something in the
Oh, we're still
classroom.
on financial.
No,
All
I
right,
know
sorry,
still
sorry.
on financial. Something that you said that I really want. You said when you come here, eat good, exercise, whatever. Teaching here, meet sort of cutting. Listen, I was pregnant in recent times. I was telling Malika when she called me
Mhm.
and being pregnant, you want to pee a lot, you want to whatever. We were in a lockdown drill, girl. And you must know about them lockdown something here. Guys, for who don't know, you have the different codes, the codes that mean something is happening, something is imminent, or there's a possible threat of whatever. Something happened and I had a class and they said lockdown, full lockdown, close the doors, continue teaching as usual, whatever. I'm pregnant. I wanted to pee
Mhm.
and I had to stay in that room with those kids for the duration. At one point, I said, I am not going to mess myself up because, uh-uh. And it would be also embarrassing. I
Yeah.
come out because if a
Mhm.
Jamaican made them step out of the pit them long, I would step out with the children a long time, go to the top bathroom, and come back to my class. You ca- you have to. A friend of mine, I'm not going to say where she is. She came up on the program and she's saying, "Boy, plumber, say a prison this system look like. I mean, not beat down nothing. I am
You
here
just
in
saying what
America. I
it
mean,
is.
yeah, listen,
Mhm.
you can't leave those children unattended for not even a second, If if you're going to leave, you better go next
Fine.
door, call for somebody to come. If you leave them, and I have
Right.
seen back home where people storm out a classroom because children are being disruptive. Then could I end there tear down your roof? You better turn in there, and they do that a lot. They throw a lot of things here. They mash up a lot of things. All me tell them say, please don't lick me, cause these hands they will catch you back. Don't hit me. Don't wanna talk anything you
Me
don't
tell
want
them
to
too.
talk.
Me
Wanna
tell them
cuss
that.
any bad word you don't want to cuss. Wanna fling it, cheer them.
Nah,
When you
part
not
no
fling
fight.
them, wanna fling them through the windows.
But
I
if you
wanna
lick
fling them.
me,
If uno will catch these
I
hands, they always say,
promise you.
Miss Plummer is from Jamaica, don't play with her. I say, wanna better recognize. But I come out of that class because me pregnant, the baby was, I was well down into my pregnancy, and and I was saying, I'm not going to sit here and pee myself. I am not going to do it. And I come out in the hallway, and the man I said, go back. Me say, no, sir, you come here. You come here. Come stand up right there, sir. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Like,
You cannot leave. And a lot of things we take for
True.
granted back home, and you're not going to be able to do it here. Me not frighten nobody. Me not ask, and call me say, oh, no, go tell me say bad man, me bad man, and I can't me that friend, and I mean, want lock down the whole like airport them, and me know I don't get visa, and me know who
I
whosoever
must.
whosoever will may come. I will roll out a red carpet of whichever airport you're coming into. But I can tell you now, it is not, and the workload is. We have three systems that we work with here. Three system. Three. You have one where you put a school runner, and you have power school, and I don't even remember the next one because I not going at it. And I like back home when you know say report time, and you have like what the one Renweb, we have Renweb back home, and the SMS
Yeah,
system back home, and
yeah.
those are the ones they used to just put in, and you only interface with those during exam time when you have exams finish time. Here you have to discipline, you have to call people parents. You do a lot of social work as a teacher here. Like you have to call
Mhm.
parents, you have to do a lot of calling. They
Mm-hmm.
have the 3-to-1 ratio, whatever. Some of them say them, me no know, come, But you have you do a lot of social work, and you have to, because they go in and they check, and you see they send you an email. You have not called, you have not documented that you have called. Granted, you have your plan, you have your their threshold and meet the children, them are coming in, even if you have planning session. It it is a lot. When we
That
tell you say
that put me
time
in a mud
management,
once
To,
because I in my first year, first semester, I had a fight. Grant you, like I'm not used to having fights, from the school that I was coming from. And because I have one class now, I have another class after this. I don't have time to call. Did you know that the students who were fighting were not suspended because I did not call when I was supposed to call? Because that's the
yeah.
protocol. And I'm like, when should I have called? When I have another class right after this? Well,
And if you're not at the doorway to meet those coming in at threshold, you will see a visit from somebody in leadership team coming to tell you that you weren't at threshold meeting the students. And listen, me say, even this thing, me lock my door when me have lunch, cause me not with no picnic and me, I cook my sardine and my fish, and them out tell me say my smell, and me tell them what smell because and yes, they will tell you your food don't smell good. Because listen, the only things that picnic Jamaica nice, not me say, Malika, Chantal, audience,
they
let me
are.
tell
They
you,
are.
I see a
I
lot of things
appreciate
happening back
Jamaican children
home.
a lot more now.
Listen, I have
Yep.
seen a lot of things, especially now back home. I mean, hear people on the internet, "Oh, because hairstyle you can't lock up it." Let me tell you, let me use your platform, Malika, and share this with Jamaica and the world. We need to take hold of what is happening down the yard and catch the bull by hand and don't make it come out of hand. No matter when nobody want up on internet and then bash whoever the minister of education and then bash and then bash and then we need to take hold, because if when we come here and we see how things are compared to back home, we will love our children to the death. They know boundaries.
That's true.
Pitney can't take all my food off of my table and tell dash away, say,
That's true.
smell good, I say, Pitney, I would tell you some fabric go down at Pablo's, Don't, no, don't play with me. No, don't play with me. No, don't play with me. Then sit down there and then you all left your water on the table and then just take you up and do whatever. And they don't know boundaries. A lot of them don't know boundaries. They tell you that build
Like for
relationship
me,
and this and go ahead, Shanta. Go
for
ahead.
me, how I look at it is, um, there were certain things I wasn't prepared for, not just because coming over here, I was just looking at it as a financial burden being lifted. One of the things I wasn't prepared for was the whole emotional part of it,
Distress.
like the emotional distress part of it, meaning how much you miss back home. And some people, because me always say, yo, why people homesick? Like, they're foreign. But then when you go into this school system, you start to appreciate the Jamaican school system more with certain things, with the students, with the staff, with the culture. Jamaica is a country that has culture. Here, it's a whole diverse thing where people from different backgrounds and everything. So it's not a
Mhm.
one thing being celebrated. Like when World Cup a go on, World Cup a go on, I mean, I say, "Gyal, should have down there to show
Yeah.
you the people them," and you know, it relaxes you. I mean, being here, it
Olympics could
feels
have won. Nobody
lonely
love
at times.
business
It
about
feels
that.
lonely.
But
However,
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Chantal.
it's for me like there's certain hats I have to take on throughout the day. So I start off 8:15 and we have to start scanning the students for weapon. And that to me is one of the most tiring things I have to do. Like because when the laptop them are come here, I look through the laptop one by one and yeah, just picture one boss would have picked me a come in and you look through them, search through them, send them down and all of that. That's very tiring. That's something that I did not know that I will be doing. And then you move on. You might have a meeting. It depends if it's Monday or Wednesday, Monday and Wednesday. You might have meetings and you have class. And then from if your first class that you have, you take them to lunch. You sit with them at lunch. You escort them back to their classes. Then you teach again. Then you have another class. Then dismissal where in Jamaica, picnic just got him yard, you have to stay and wait until the bus is called and everything. So when you just come, you're going to feel overwhelmed because you're not used to all these changes.
Mhm.
And the lesson planning template might be different. You're not used to that. They're going to be calling all these abbreviations that you're wondering, what does this mean? What should I do? You're going to feel dunce. You are going to
Chantal,
feel dunce when you
pause,
just come.
pause,
However,
Chantal.
however, let me tell you what keeps me is
Uh-huh.
that what I look at is it's mentally draining. And I'm not going to tell you that I have not cried a couple times. But how I look at it is that the other day I did want to buy some music equipment and I could have just find the money like that and shell it off. Me say, yo, this don't look too bad. And I can't say,
Mm-hmm.
all right, me save back a money because I try to save a lot. Me try to save. You have to be disciplined because this place is a big place. And when you're going to stores, you're going to see a lot of things. And you're like, that look nice. I just $10, I just $15. Boops. When I go up a cashier, $100 everything add up to. Because you weren't
Mm-hmm.
counting. So
Right.
one I just look at it, it's a way for me to save some more money so that I can do something other than teaching in the future, like have my own business in the future and all of
Right.
that. So in Jamaica, I couldn't have risked certain things like might say, all right, I want to invest in this thing. Me try with my Jamaican salary, but you have to know that businesses don't kick off same time. So when this business plan fails and keep failing, you look at Jamaican salary
Right.
can manage $100 being blown up or $125 being blown up.
Right.
Here, a dollar is a dollar, and for me, if me try look a business strategy with like $125 startup and it fails, me not tell you, so me not feel away. I feel away because it's money, but me not feel that bad
Mm-hmm.
like when me salary because it's in Jamaican dollars. So I just look at it as it's an opportunity for me to get ahead faster in life. Note I said faster in life financially towards my personal goals. And so, but it's mentally draining and it can get you feeling sick at times. It does,
Yeah.
but you can take off $100 and say, I go get a little massage. Make people them rub down my back today because boy, it's been a month. So. So I just look at it as that.
Mm-hmm. Chantal, when you said something about the abbreviations, it really hit me. Because remember I said I had a
Because
fight in my first semester? I remember the day a teacher brought the child to my class. So he was new to my class, but not the school. And he said, he drew me to the side and he said, "This child is EBD. You hear?" I'm gonna say, "Yeah, man." But I thought
head
because
and
you have
bun,
all these
head
terms,
and bun and Danish.
you have all these terms, and I was just thinking that okay, this is just another term to say, this child learns a little slower. No, my love. EBD was one of those emotional behavioral something, which means that the child will fight. And had I known that, I would have no, had I known that, I would have perhaps placed a child closer to me or somewhere else. And when another child started to bother him, I could have shut it down much faster than what I had done before, and that fight would not have happened. So when they say the abbreviation thing, trust me, I have all sorts of abbreviations
Yep.
that I've never heard of
Mhm.
before. DES, EBD, yeah, flag this and flag that and flag,
Yeah.
flag, red
Mhm.
flag,
Yeah,
blue
man.
flag, green flag.
One bag of flag, like we don't know, like we're Rasta man. Full of flag.
Listen,
What
listen.
about that?
Trust me, trust me. But on my thing now, because everybody, it's the money. I just say me personally. All right, and Chantal touch on the psychological stress. I mean, listen, me say I eat where I run from my yard, but me tell you, say if you come, you have to listen, man. You have to eat some good
You have
yellow
to say
yam
the
from our
fittest of the
children.
fittest survive.
Listen,
Fundamentals.
I have a
Values.
friend. I have a friend. I spoke to her just this morning, and she's literally she's ill. She came up on the. She's ill. She's ill because of the
Oh, last
stress.
year.
The
Me
stress.
that.
She was at the hospital last night, and I was saying, "Oh my God, she is in the stress." It is woefully stressful. These things. Sometimes you click on the things and you see the court. Some of them are listen, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just brace yourself. Just brace yourself. And as Chantal said, the money add up. 'Cause enough time me going to Walmart and the people must think say me mad. 'Cause after they give me a receipt and tell me, I said then allow not tell me not take up so much something.
Walmart a rich
No,
people
Tanya,
place, man.
Tanya, I'm here laughing at
But
myself because I'm remembering in Jamaica, a child used a bad word in class one day. And I got so upset. I'm gonna get the child a demerit and write up the child for a demerit and all these things. Why? I have to laugh.
listen,
I have to laugh at myself because
acapella,
you know,
acapella in
guys,
your
I
ears,
say bad words
listen,
every
this
day, all day.
every
you
day,
see when
all
them
day,
say
and
see I'm
twice.
blind, hear and deaf, and that me do a work.
No,
I am
No, you
selective
ignore it.
of what I
no,
choose to pay attention to at times. Because
I
sometimes I can't do better.
listen, man, me the high school, the middle school, me the high school. So you know, so them are the
The
hormone, they
word.
hope you upon them, the one day.
Mhm.
The hormone and middle school kind of about yeah, so I hope
Trust
you
me,
say the upon it.
trust me,
No, no,
it's
no, no,
still,
no,
it's
no,
still,
no.
Listen,
it is haywire.
listen, Mr. Picnic catch up, Mr. Picnic funny laka kiss a sucker. I wanna do. Me have to remember say it happy nice and when they class and you know see nothing. And then chop a bad word go and then chop it and they curse the bad word go and they curse the bad word come and it says
I say
no
this like
cursing
things
in
every
my
day.
class.
Language every day. Language. Sorry,
La-
sorry. Language.
la-
Sorry.
yeah.
One of the things I'm grateful for being here is like one of the things we're proud of myself about, I should say, is starting teaching them Spanish. It was a struggle because
Mm-hmm.
it's not like in Jamaica where our schools are streamed.
Uh,
Like you know GSAT, and
Yes.
you know you got certain
Yes.
yeah. If you have big brain, you go up at a school, yeah. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have middle brain,
You go,
yeah.
and if you learn a
It's not
little
like
slower,
it's
you
not
go down
like
there
in
slow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in Jamaica where they're streamed. You can select any school that you want to go. And
Yep.
so you're going to have different levels of students within your classroom. I for me, I'm coming from a high school where students are fast. And so coming here to teach them Spanish, it was hard for me at first because me say, oh my God, how is it that you can't read well, you can't spell well in your own native tongue, but you are expected to learn another language and I have to deal with you? Like, how is it that I'm going to work with this? And I notice now that you just have to teach them in very simple terms. And then there are some students, they can't spell to save their lives. So do not tell them to write down anything. Like how I test those students, they know what the word mean. I can just write the word down on some cards and I
Yeah.
can say, okay, show me which word in Spanish, the word in Spanish that means book. And they just take up the card and say, this is book.
Chantal.
And I just grade them.
Chantal,
And
the way me that mouth don't
mhm.
pick me at Jamaica for spelling.
For
But say me have
spelling,
a little
I
comment.
apologize.
I
I
apologize.
apologize.
Because you know I have to just
So
hear me now what the
everything for
kids say.
spelling, because
Mister, are you marking for
baby,
spelling? Are you marking for spelling? And I have to say, once I can recognize what you're saying.
I'm like, yes, yes,
listen,
I'm
una
like,
but here you
here. I'm
can't.
like, once
And I
I can
learned how
recognize what you're
to
saying.
I learned
Listen,
how to conjugate verbs with them because when Malika was talking to me, she had told me that I won't be able to do that when I come up here. And you
Mm-hmm.
are the one, I don't remember.
Maybe it's me
And
because
I
I
feel
don't get to do
so
that with my
proud
kids. Mm-hmm.
listen.
that I have a
But you have
class
mostly
teaching
Hispanics, so they're
native
good.
students and 8 non-natives. But the eight
Mm-hmm.
non-natives have learned how to conjugate verbs. And I'm proud of how I did it. I just learned how to teach these kids in small portions and
Mm-hmm.
how to explain Spanish that it becomes so easy. Where one pitney look one pitney, I say, boy, if you not pass the class, you're just dumb. I'ma feel proud of myself. So
Yeah.
it's a challenge with them academically, but you
Mm-hmm.
learn as a teacher how to teach kids who are slow, and you just know how to explain the hardest things in the simplest of ways.
And then look at me. I'm doing AP. AP, government and politics. Government and nothing.
Yeah,
Listen, trust me. Mr. I am having a field time in my head with all of one answer because it's a mirrored image of exact. Listen, man. And then where I'm at, it is we are woefully short staffed. Woefully. So kids who are just like we said with the streaming, and you would have your CSEC groups, and you have the CX because CSEC, a CSEC, A level, and yeah, do
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Every Barry, call all sons of man and carry them, come put them on your doorstep. They're in there. So you see, it is, and then I do an additional class because I think you're supposed to like have four, and it is dependent on your district too. You're supposed to have like 4 sessions, and then you have a planning session and so forth. And lunchtime, guys, back home, it's 20 minutes or less. So if you can carry liquid food, it will be better for you. Yes, because your lunchtime is not what we do. Oh, we're selling a staff room, making your teeth, and I get laugh a piece soup. No. No, I have to literally lock my door because the kids and them, as me says, PSY, then down there, and then they will mash all the glass. This is how some of these they will break all the glass. They will just knock the door till the yeah. So sometimes it's enough for kick you off, coming out, getting up and coming, come open it. It's my lunchtime. So
I'm fortunate, Tani. I'm fortunate because I'm what you
yeah,
call connections. Um, I get a whole hour for my lunch. But let me explain to whoever is viewing. At my school, I'm at a middle school. There are core content teachers. That's the math, the science, the social studies, the English language. I am really sorry for those teachers, honestly. But because I'm Spanish, as Chantal had explained earlier on, I'm basically in charge of myself. That's one. Um,
yeah.
so I don't have as many meetings as core content teachers would, and I do have an hour for lunch. So thank you, Jesus, for that part.
mine is a little bit longer, granted, because guess what? My lunch and my planning session run into each other. So I will get like 45 minutes or so.
But I
But
have to
Mm.
plan
yeah.
out separately still.
Yeah,
So
but well, man, you see, man, run into right. So it's because
okay.
of that, and that's only Monday to Thursday. On a Friday, I have a period between because we have what is called like early release day on a
Oh
Friday. Um,
wow, must be
and
nice.
early release don't
I
mean
have
that you
a
still get it.
question. Like,
What's the question,
how do you think
Chantal?
teaching? How do you think teaching has changed you as a teacher being here?
You're asking both of us, or you're asking Tani?
Yeah, may I answer now? May I ask both of you first?
Go
How has
ahead,
it changed me?
go ahead, Malika.
Yeah,
Come
cause
in
me
one
know
note
how it
too.
changed me,
It has made me a lot more patient, a lot more accepting, and a lot more see and blind, ear and deaf. And to be honest, if I'm honest, in terms of the professional aspect of it, I think my idea of differentiation back home versus now, I think I have a better understanding of differentiating my lessons. Um, but overall, patience, it has changed me in terms of how patient I am. I thought I was always a patient person, but trust me, there are things that will test your patience and really shows you how patient you are. So yeah, that's me.
All right, for me, I realized that while I was teaching in Jamaica, even though there are certain things that I used to complain about,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I was actually teaching for love. I used to just there for the salary, but
Yes.
it was actually out of love. I was
Yes.
way more
I make me want
creative
to cry,
with
honestly.
my execution of my lessons.
Yes.
Like in my classroom, I would give a lot of jokes. I think the cultural difference affects how you relate to these kids because they don't
Yes.
really get you like that when you
Yes.
try to be dramatic and everything.
Mhm.
So that
Yes.
side of me
They just look
has
at
been
you.
silenced. Yeah, that side of me has been silenced as a child. This year I have grown into try to building some form of a bond between me and some of my students, so
Mm-hmm.
getting to know them a bit more and everything. But that relationship and bond that I have with my Jamaican kids, that
It's
genuine
different.
bond, it's different, and I will forever love and miss them because it's different here.
Oh, shut up,
Another
I don't want
thing
to
that
cry.
yeah,
Honestly,
so
want to cry now, like for
that's one of
real,
the
like
things
honestly.
I
Like
learned.
people
I
never
always tell
understand what you
myself
have to
that
write to yourself.
I always tell myself I always tell myself that I wouldn't mind working a job if it means me not like it, but may I get good money. But then when you're
Mm.
actually in the position, you realize when them say money is not all,
You have to
a
like your
true
job.
and a not true. It's true and it's not true. It's not true in the sense that you need money to do what you really want to do to survive and push out everything. Because I love my job in Jamaica, but financially it wasn't taking me far.
Right.
However, here financially it's taking me further as faster.
Right.
But loving, it's you just exist. Like back home you'll have your friends there
Do
as
you find yourself
co-workers who
counting
you
down
can
each
run a
session?
little joke with
You find yourself
every
counting down each session, like
day from
I
year
keep
15.
looking at my
What
phone to
when
see, like
3:45
it's like just
People.
getting
Uh,
through
in
the
every
day. Like
class,
it's just about getting through the day.
mhm.
I
But
may get very rough. Can you
let me
believe
tell
how
you.
rough me become?
Let me tell you. I before I entered the classroom, I actually worked with Campbell's soup. Do you know the canned soup where your family they
Yeah.
normally put in a barrel
Yeah,
saying come on nobody no drink? Yeah. Them people
you
them
drink
people
enough of that up your door.
no, I mean, you know, I'm a work with a company. Um, I never had it, but they make other things. I have come to learn a lot of things since I've moved here. They make a lot of the pretzels and things that are eaten in America. Campbell's soup. They have a snack
Okay.
side. I used to work with one of the factories, and one of the things that led me to that job was me says, listen, you see teaching, no care what the matter is. Teaching is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. When you sleep, you think,
24
but
hours.
you gonna make that lesson the connect, you gonna get that pick the way, pull it hoodie over and head. Or even back in Jamaica. You know that student that you cared so much for or whatever.
Yeah,
Teaching is an emotional journey. And
it
Mm-hmm.
is.
one of the things I never want to do was to go back there emotionally. So I say, so I step off. In fact, when I step off the factory floor, and that was the end of my shift, that was the end of my shift. Jumping on my vehicle, I'm gonna go to my yard, I'm gonna sleep so till the next day I go back to work. We know teaching is not like that. We
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So it has changed me in in how I view um even my own kids here in America getting educated because for me there's a lot of politics behind education here. Only thing politics behind Jamaican education system. Uno come here, look at and draw a seat, no man. Uno come here and draw a seat, no man. And I must warn my teachers: you have to be careful of a lot of things you say. You can lose your job in the wink of an eye because of not being correct. If you understand what I'm saying, because there's a lot of things I have to take the code and be going through it, and things here change at a whim.
Hold on. Be
Things
more
change.
specific, Danny. Be more specific. Things like what?
All right,
Like what?
even all right, even with the AP that I'm doing, I don't know how many of you follow the debate that has been happening in Florida, where the governor there is saying that he doesn't want AP Black history, African history to be taught because of the whole political landscape in America is it's very, if like it's like a shift or whatever they want to call it. You can't say certain things, and you have to, some things I don't mind people being whatever they want to be, but I feel culturally sometimes they force a lot of things on us. And as I say, a lot of things we go prepare, we wouldn't do a yard because listen, if you're he, she, or the old lady, anything you want to identify as, identify and go on. But you have to ask students their preferred pronouns, and then you go there go ask people their preferred pronoun, and then when their parents come, their parents never know so them prefer a pronoun, and you go getting yourself in a hot water because parents will come at you say you are push ideology and then pick it in. So we have to be careful. You have to be
Yeah.
careful where a lot of these things are concerned. America is an ever changing landscape. It is dynamic. Bills are being passed. You have to keep yourself abreast of what is happening, especially in your area, because you will find yourself in hot water. Because if a parent is say whatever religion they, and you go say yeah call them picnic he, she, or the old lady, and then go say look here, you cannot be looking at a lawsuit. You can be dragged for these things, and it trust me, you have to be
Danny, are you
careful.
at one of the poorest schools, or are you at
Yeah, where I'm at one of the, I think it's a public charter. They wear uniform, and listen, that was one of the things that I wanted to, because I was even with my older daughter. I was saying, all right, when I get into this school, because they wear uniform, I'm going to take her there. My husband was like, go in at the bus first, because you can't drive and go find out, because things look away on certain. I know you let me see people come to school in a battery ride in a uniform top, and they have a little skirt, and I say, no Jesus, and I saw uniform wear, and I may have heart attack, I may have panic attack, and then board their nose and then board their navel, and the whole cultural thing where we say out of yard we tongue bore, and this and the whole, and I say uniform, but I must say the administration where I'm at, it's a very young principal there, and I must applaud her. She's trying and she is resetting, but it
I applaud all administrators. I don't have a strength. Trust me.
Malika, Chantal, audience, guys, let me tell you
I
something. A roller coaster up here in teaching. Me don't know if the money worth it, because the sanity sometimes. You ever hear them say you work and then you just a work for pay
yeah.
a doctor bill?
Yeah, I
It
feel
will
that way at
somewhat
times.
way
I
it will
feel that way at
equate to
times.
that
I'm not
way.
gonna lie. I feel
Tani,
that way at times. But what
All right.
go ahead, Chantal. Continue. I'm sorry.
I feel that way at times in regards to the mental aspect, like me I say, you have to do all of this and then you stress out yourself and then you have to go back a doctor. Like what I'm tell you. But then yeah, as me say, like
It's a
at the
drug.
fittest
It's
of the
a drug.
fittest them
Don't
time.
get caught up.
So
It's a
here's
drug.
what.
That's it.
Yeah, no. What I do, I try to find things that de-stresses me. So when I'm at school, I have my earbuds in. I'ma blast my music. I'ma play my song. I'ma do my little dance. Like you have to come here with a plan. Like when you reach and you say it get hard, just try dance through it. Me not tell us
Mm.
enough time. Me no feel like going me yard. Me not tell us me no put on some ball in. Me not tell us me never go hospital from me there. I girl it
Hey,
fully
Chantal,
stressed
now
right
stop
now.
talking about, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me bad for everybody. But may I tell you the truth, cause I have to be honest. Like when I was being told to come here, there were certain things that was not fully explained, and I'm going to be honest. You
Mhm,
see, when you get here and you see these kids, one strategy that I would say to implement is, if
mhm,
especially if you're at a middle school, don't be too nice to them at first. These kids are
Okay.
manipulators. You see the first month, they look about them sit down and them quiet, you know. You feel like a angel. Yeah, your man the class are nice. My girl. Huh? Mm-mm. Them not nice. They are manipulators, and then they change in the second month. I would say just be very, very no nice to them. That was one of the advice that I got when I just came here. Like a teacher said, you know what's my best advice to you? Don't be nice to these kids. I mean, I said this sounds harsh because
it sounds harsh, but it's true.
coming from Jamaica, at the school that I was nice to my kids and they respected me. I could have run certain joke with my picnic name, but then they rate me afterwards. Me and them could have sing certain song
Right.
and dance and whatever, but they
They know
respected
that
me
you're still their
afterwards.
teacher.
American
Mhm.
kids, yeah,
The
American
boundary, the
kids,
boundary, the
they
boundaries
have
are
Right.
no
not.
Boundary.
boundaries.
Listen,
Do
man.
not give them privileges. Let me tell you, since me come up, you know how much patois me use in my class?
Every day. all day, every
Oi,
day,
hey
twice
boy,
on
you name
Sundays.
yourself is down.
Yeah, man.
Oi, we
I,
one tier, you're not years old. I saw me have to talk to
there's
them
a
at
Miss
the
Plum, I
time.
said, go at the back of the class. Every time, Miss, I want to go in the back.
That's
They
what Pretty
always,
told me the other day. Say when I use my language, it make him feel some sort of way.
me cuss
Yeah,
them out. And
because
them go
I
on
can't
Google,
get
and they will go on
angry
Google
in.
and say them Googling what they're saying to them. I said, I don't go on anything I want to go on. I only go dig up Miss Lou and go have her sit down in the class because I don't care.
My
I,
only issue is whenever I use patois in my class, the pit them want to start use BBC. Cause know them one there,
yeah,
right?
right,
Yes,
Them
right.
want to start say
Yeah,
BBC.
yeah.
yeah,
One of them push out the head. Hey boy, what they? Me say, come in inside, here, young man, and sit down and stop it. I don't use those colorful language. Not when the principal is
yeah.
part. But yeah,
And when you, what I say too, when you get here, like there'll be some desk that underneath it you can put things under.
Mhm.
Turn them
I
around,
turn them
meaning
around.
that,
Say that again,
girl,
Chantal. Turn them around.
me is a proper ancillary staff in the people
Turn
them
them
school.
around.
Me sweep, me
Trust
sweep, me
me.
sweep, me sweep, me
hello.
sweep, me
To
sweep, me
talk about
sweep.
that, talk about that. We not straighten up no
Cause you
classroom
have
in
to tidy
Jamaica.
them.
You have to sweep your classroom air. You have to sweep, even if you have engineers. Sometimes they will come. And it's dependent on the district you're in. Me sweep when me come and
Yeah.
see me, I will grab broom. I say, "But me never sweep."
Because there are limited amount of them, so they don't get to sweep it all the
Yeah,
time.
we have
And
three in
me
the
not,
whole
the
building.
first time I sweep, me go and go cry now.
Hello,
Yeah,
hello.
Me go and go cry, man. Me
So you better
Yamba.
sweep.
cry.
You
Me go and
better
go
sweep.
ball. Me
You
I
better
say,
sweep it, and then the students don't care. They come in and they eat whatever, and they drop it on the floor. Listen,
Yup.
I remember when I just
what's the
started.
amount of the time I tell them to eat
Hello,
in my class?
people, jungle people in the audience here. Let me tell you something. These kids, me want to come. Me not bad man no come because
So come
I
in at
remember
different time.
I
Different
went and
fighting
I bought
spirit.
some, and most of the times you have to buy school supplies out of your pocket. The school will give you some things, but if you really want your room to look, because your
Nice.
room is your space, right? You have to go. So I went and I bought some caddies and things, cause girl I say a high functional. AP government are teaching us a discussion. I got shot. Pick them broke up in whole life pencil them and dash them and go for
Yes.
ball. Jesus
It's
Christ. And when me a cut body pitness say, me say, back in Jamaica, students would be happy to have pencils given to them like this
Given.
and
Right.
here on that boy after them make well uh, this is what he said in it. After them make where you come from, then can't afford it. Me said, Jesus Christ, come on, kick off. He was like, we're not the ones who make you can't afford pencils back home. And I said, Mr. Little boy, go sit down, because you miss a pint. You miss a pint. Just go sit down. Because you
Yeah.
hurt on my nerves. And me tell him, say, listen, they all get Chromebooks. And for the love of God, if it not take a Chromebook, I'll not tell it, then put it Chromebook
It
them.
hurt
Me say,
me. It hurt
out
listen,
me.
in the
It
listen,
rain.
hurt
Mr.
me.
Listen, did you know that back where I'm from, we have one Chrome card for like 1,700 students? So the one Chrome card is to the especially needed students who need it. If they say, I don't care, and and they will just do something to the Chromebook just to prove to you that they don't
Yeah.
care, that what
Yup.
you're saying.
Yup.
That's how they
Yup.
are.
Yup.
I
Because
And
am,
you
another thing for
destroy that,
me,
you're gonna get another one.
accent.
yes.
My accent is an issue. Like at
Mm-hmm.
times, I don't want to speak because
Me
once
try.
you speak, like people just them. Everybody want echo what you say. I'm like,
That's why I'm a
let me
twang.
just still talk.
Me not
Don't
try.
have no.
Me not
Me
Me
not,
have
try.
a twang
not
in
bother.
me.
They say
Me
myself
not have a
got
twang
them
in
say
me.
they say Miss Plum myself go to the back of the class. Go to the back of the class. Me say I don't care what go to the back of the class. That's what I say.
Honestly, it becomes a discussion. Whenever I choose to use my accent, it becomes a whole like we're deflecting from everything else. There's no learning happening. They're laughing. They're and I find that for me, managing my class is better when I twang.
Yeah,
When
go
I
on.
twang, I'm a talk bad like them. Yeah, it manage better.
But it as you say with
It
I money with their about but as
honestly, yeah.
Chantal can say Malika knows I
Put
mean
in
not
their
come out for
mind.
the money. I mean not come out for the money because I money me a talk about. And guys they must pay some big sign and bonus but unfortunately because I know like for the programs you're contracted for a
Couldn't.
period of
Yeah.
time. Like for me now we can't wait till me get the sign and bonus because our next district. Not saying that I'm gonna do that, but yeah, it
Right. You're going to another district.
No, no. There are a few other things that I thought about before I re-entered the classroom because I have smaller kids. I have an older daughter, but I have three smaller ones.
And I want you
And
to touch on your birthing thing, Tani. For those who are
oh
listening, so you say you just had a child.
yeah,
I want them to understand how
oh,
that works, being a teacher, your time off and all that. So continue talking.
lis- all
But get
right. But there were certain things that I looked at, and I'm saying that the little holidays, them thanks be to God, because people think they get one holiday and they don't understand what comes into these breaks. Because if we never get the mental break, God Almighty, enough mad teacher there, enough more mad teacher you'd have see. Cause we need it because the mental breaks are needed. These breaks are mental breaks. So when I start about how much holiday teacher get, me start telling them, say, listen, a mental break. 'Cause if we not get to, we go mad. But um, as it pertains to listen, big America do not have a federal maternity law. You don't have. So down a yard where we can use you can, if you're in the system for 5 years, you can get 4 months paid leave and then your maternity leave and whatever. You can couple those and you get a up here. So listen, I was told, and granted, I have not been with this school for a year because I just started in August. All right,
right.
puppy. Um, I was told I can only get 1 week with pay to have my child. And I said, 1 week with pay, I can't come back to school 1 week after giving birth. So I had to take unpaid leave. I had to take unpaid leave. But and even so, you have some districts, and guys, you need to read the fine print and you need to know. You have some districts, if you're out, you have to pay for your own sub. Look here, man. You have to pay for your own substitute.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, sometimes me want to get up and you really feel drained and then the amount of things you have to do if you not going, you might as well just dry yourself. Cause you have to submit sub plan. You have to look here, man. Them something that me see one morning, the morning after I had that bladder thing with being pregnant, and I said I'm not going me not go and you have to submit 2 weeks in advance to get a day off. I don't know if it's the same
It's
thing with you guys.
1 week where we are.
2 weeks in advance, you have to submit the time you want off.
And it may not
So,
be approved.
and it may not be approved.
Right.
So these are the final things you have to look at. So I had to take unpaid leave after giving birth. So
But
it's
the day off for us submitting a week in advance to get a day off is really for our personal days. But for sick days, you can wake up the morning and say, I'm not feeling well and
Yeah.
not come to work.
yeah,
I
but you
don't
still
want
have to.
people here listening think that they can't even be sick and get a day. You
Yeah.
can get a
No,
day.
yeah,
So
but you
don't
still have
get
to submit.
misled.
Whether if you're sick, you still and it depends too on the district you're in and
Right, right.
and they say because you sometimes still have to submit the sub plan even if you're sick. So and sub plan are not things where you sit down and write. And I like say you sit down and unless you're going to pull from your folder that you have submitted a lesson and whatever, and you still have to tweak that for a sub.
Mhm.
So trust me, sometimes if you even sick, it be better you all go along your car. Not
It
I want to say
definitely
this quickly. Since we're talking about being sick, where I am in my county, and I think it's a Georgia thing, where if you don't in Jamaica, I think we after like a year of teaching, you have like what 30 sick days every year.
40.
Here, every
40, I
month,
think 40,
40. Okay,
I
every
think I 40
month
back home.
in my area, every month you get another day. So let's say I start working in August. At the end of August, I accumulate 1 day worth of sick leave. September 2. By December, you have about 4 or 5 sick days, right? And for me, those sick days roll over into the next year. So let's say at the end of the year, I accumulated 12 sick days. By the next August, it'll be 13, 14. But you don't get them all at the same time. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
um uh,
Go ahead, Chantal.
no, I just want to say overall, I don't want to seem like may I discourage anybody from coming.
May I
I
discourage
just
you, no,
want
but
to
you know,
say,
I'm a bad man, but you know, come.
I'm not
yeah.
discouraging anybody because my
Um,
grass is green.
for
I'm being
me,
honest. My grass is green. Continue, Chantal.
everybody's situation is different.
Right.
For me, I'm when people all right, firstly, a lot of times when you explain what it is like being in a new country and people's like, so when you come back to Jamaica then, I just want to clarify that statement.
Mhm.
When you leave Jamaica, you give up everything. You sell your car, you sell your dog, you sell everybody. for
Yes.
come to this new country to settle. And so it's hard to go back to somewhere where you sell out everything and you give up everything, your job and everything, you have to start from scratch again. You're already here starting from scratch and you have to go back home now to start from scratch. It's
Mhm.
it's too much. So that's one of the things first I have to clarify. Being here, I'm not going to lie. Um I would prefer if Jamaica had offered a good salary, I would stay. It's being here. I realized that I really do miss Jamaica. I really enjoyed being a teacher in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Not so much here. Here, what I do enjoy is the fact that salary wise, I can make it faster. Like I save more. Like if you're over here, you can save at least depending on your situation,
Right.
whether you have kids, whether you have car loan and whatever. So for me, I don't have any kids. I don't have a car. I pay a lift. It's quite costly, I'm not telling a lie.
Yes.
But because I'm sharing the apartments
Apartment.
with other persons, the rent is split in what four. So I'm able to save more for this year. So what I do is try to for the months here when me there with four people, me try to save a lot. And so for me, me can save like me no want call out a certain amount come no want
Don't want
nobody.
to be targeted.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So
They
you
got
can
you.
save more because the situation. However, mentally, it's a go get to you. I'm gonna tell you that from now. I'm not going to hide it. Mentally, you'll miss home. You'll miss your family if it is that you have to leave your family behind if
Mm.
you're a mom or whatever. And not just for the family. You might have your man or your woman, you're gonna miss
Mhm.
them. You might have your friends. Simple things such as your co-workers back home and the relationship that you
Yeah.
guys had. When you had a bad day, you could trust to go to some of the to go to them and vent to them about the kids because
Mhm.
it's like one team. Like if you put them to something, I go to a coworker, I go tell them, well, I don't know, I just one team, I want to sit down and just discuss it and just laugh. Everybody vent with them one another.
The-
Or I want little joke go on, and you go up there, go tell them. It's different here. Like you don't really know nobody up here, so you don't really know who to say things to and everything. So you're more silent when you're in the workplace, and that's one of the things. However, you just have to know where you come from and just make that goal to say, I'm here for the money. So I save that money. And when you go, you're not gonna be no hot girl in America. I want you to know that from now. In America, you
There's
are
some.
not a hot girl or a hot boy. You are here to make that bread. But you see, when you go Jamaica now, you is a good as.
The,
You
the,
are a hot girl or a hot boy.
my students said
Right?
my students said just like a homeless bum. I said, says the people who wear pajamas to school.
Every
Whatever.
day. So
Somebody's
you just have to make up
asking.
your mind.
Somebody's asking what are the childcare benefits for J1 teachers? What do you mean benefits?
Benefits?
I
Benefits?
don't have any kids, by the way, so I don't even qualify to respond to that. But
I think
Benefits?
what do you?
kids can
I'm
go to
seriously asking,
school
what do
till
you mean by
a certain
benefits?
3 years old. And you have to find somebody to stay with them. No
No, not
And
circle.
in
daycare?
in
Daycare
Georgia. You can't go to your child cannot go to school until he or she is 4
5,
years old.
4, 5.
5 where you are.
Listen,
You're four
listen,
in
let me tell you.
Georgia.
And
Let, let
childcare
me
is
Let me
quite.
tell you, daycare is one of the most expensive thing here. One of the most expensive thing I can say that hands down. Thanks. Hey
Can you
boy,
say how much it is, Tani, where you are for daycare?
it depends. It depends. Listen, as with everything else, like with housing, if you all go with a rat infested something, you can get something cheap. But if you want your child to know, say, you go and look at like about $85 a day.
Never do that
$85
myself.
to to $100 a day.
Yeah.
And I have to give kudos to to my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. Trust me,
1,700 for the month.
yes. And that is not taking into consideration if they probably want to do swimming, or if you go the most, if you go somewhere, if you're going to do something that is
Developing
you
a child host in a school.
right, right. And you want to know that your child is safe. So you're not gonna want to carry a pin and go any little daycare where look, just like in Jamaica, you would want to know that it's somewhere where
It's
it's
decent.
right, and with child abuse, and then the cultural. I am so happy that I don't have to put my kids into daycare because apart from the expense of it, emotionally you can be drained by that too,
Right.
because the cultural difference is far removed. So the benefits of child have it better if you have a grown child that is in school to come up with you. It's better
Mm-hmm.
than if you have babies
Welcome,
like
baby.
myself, right? Because I have babies. I have an older child.
Somebody's
Um,
asking childcare stamps, for example, childcare stamps. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tani, or even Chantal. Based on what I know, and please do not take my word for it because once again, I do not have children here, or children, period. But childcare stamps, I think it's for people who aren't earning a certain amount. So as a teacher, I don't think you would qualify. That's
no,
first, right? We
you
don't
would
qualify for
you
those
wouldn't
things.
qualify, and a lot of and I don't know. I can't speak for if you're coming up on the program too.
Right,
What as it relates, because some of these things are for U.S. residents who don't
right.
live not on a visa or whatever, and yeah, so a lot of these things. So I say sometimes being on Instagram and being on social media, you hear people talk something sometime, and as I said, it's U.S. is a state by state affair. There are
Yeah.
few things that the federal government gets involved in. There are very few things, and it was by design that it was meant to be like that. Yes, granted, the federal government I get mixed up in a lot of things now, but it's by design. So states set the rules for a lot of things. So and it's dependent on the political climate as it is. It is dependent on a lot of things. It is dependent on a lot of because if you have a more Republican governor or whoever is in charge or whatever, you will find that some benefits are lean more towards immigrants and probably undocumented. So it is all dependent. It's a lot of things that you have to thread through and you have to find out how it goes. So it's you hear people say, but up in New York or down in Florida or here, so you state by state, county by county, things are different. So you have to look into these things and so forth. But as it is for
But
child care, it
I say
will
like, if you can, if mentally you can, I'm not a mom, and I'm not disregarding how moms feel about having their kids with them while being in the US. I know it's hard to leave your kids. Um, but if you can financially, like
leave them a
leave
yard.
them for a year and try to stay here and settle to make the money. Like if you have somebody who's trustworthy that can keep them, it's going to be emotionally draining, but financially you'll be able to go through, not just financially and mentally. You learn how to go through the emotions of being here and how to settle here, financially and everything. If you're single and you're thinking about coming, I would say you have nothing to lose. Why? You don't have no pitney to worry about. When you come over here, I'm not gonna tell you say it's gonna be easy. If it is that you're uncertain about whether you are going to like it, yes or no, don't resign from your job. Just take a leave of absence for the year. You're not gonna get no pay anything you can. I just think that's a safe spot. I mean, as if you go back a yard or stay here, whatever you want, if you want to make that as a choice. But what I look at, teaching is hard everywhere. And not just teaching, having a 9 to 5 is hard everywhere. Life in itself is a struggle. You have to choose which struggle is going to get you faster to the goals that you want to achieve. And so for me, teaching in Jamaica was a struggle financially, and other emotional things were there that, and I mean, I did 100% happy as a teacher, but
Right.
being here, missing more struggles mentally. However, what affected me the most was the fact that after I took out car loan and everything, and I was living within my means, it was still hard to say, boy, I mean, I think me can't ever get a house. Boy, I mean, I think me can't ever help my mother the way how I wanted to. But then being here now, even though I have to sacrifice certain things, and not everywhere me can go because me take lift. So if me I go this one spend lift, go there every time, plus go to
Mm-hmm.
school, it's going to be more costly for me. So of course, Moving around, I am limited. So that's one sacrifice I have to make. Of course, I'm not in an apartment by myself, I'm sharing it with people. That's another sacrifice I have to make.
Right.
Of course, the kids are not the same as back home, and them rude and them lazy. But then you have some good ones. You have some that make your day. You just still have to look on the blessing. I would
Mm-hmm.
say, if you can know, say you can fight, you see, if you can fight, come. If you don't know if you fight, just know, say when you come, you're going to put up with a fight. It's not going to be easy, but
I
it will
never knew
get
I
you to
had it
your
in me
goal
until I came.
faster. You're going to get to your goal faster.
But it,
You're
it,
rather stay Jamaica
yeah.
and want job where you love, and then on you can't really make no money off it, really. But right
Mhm.
here, so if you come even for a year, me not tell you say you're not gonna feel like it, want to put a ear out of your eyelash. That don't make no sense. But um me see when I save a money, or me see where I could have buy certain things. A dollar is a dollar, so when you come to try to take up the American dream,
But
certain things are got expensive. So yeah.
and then again, also too, you have to remember the dynamics of the US. US has been using credit long before Jamaica, and up here, so every push dog, all the dog can
Credit
get credit
too.
card and then something there. Down a yard, up here says, listen. No, you see, when I
Them
was
not
at
approve
home,
me.
I never owned a credit card until I got to this day, because I
Same.
was like, I spend my money on me. I mean that. Me no like borrow people things. Me no like. I had a father who I was blessed with, who taught me some financial things. Me still run up in a sound look, yeah, but I mean, US, it's all about credit, because you just have to have one good look credit score. You can get a car, you can get a nice car for choice. You know, you can buy outright. So
Mm-hmm.
it's but back home, if I think they're open, and then listen, just as the discipline that we plan to exercise here, Chantel, me will rebut upon that. I mean, now I'm going to tell you say, look, when I look on the
It's a
exchange
lot
rate,
of
we don't say percent
sacrifice.
$100 guy yard, it's like $15,000, or
15,000.
yeah, it's something where up there like about. Me now go me now go discredit that. However, when you look at the whole scheme of things, when you put everything together, you can barely see the little dregs in at the bottom, because outer
It's
yard,
just money for
we,
you.
we're not disciplined. We're not disciplined. Just as I said, if you say put on 5,000 upon your Scotia mint, you say $5,000 money, but over time it adds up. And it's the same thing up here. Most people out here, we don't talk about budget. We just spend until whatever. Up here, hello, me turn mathematician, me turn budgetarian, me turn economist, me children, me see
Menton
something $2
budgetarian too.
fifty.
Honey, personally, I budgeted in Jamaica. I
Me no budget.
budgeted in Jamaica and I
Me
budget
did. I
here,
did.
and I can still say, because I've made financial mistakes during my earlier
Mhm,
years as a teacher, learned from them and started budgeting. Right, of
mhm.
course, things started to look up a little bit better when I started budgeting, but I can still say budgeting there and here. It's still, as Chantal keeps saying, you do make it faster financially here. You
Even
do.
if a 300, all right, even if you save $500 a month as a teacher here,
Mhm,
$500 a month, I was 75,000 Jamaican. My math's not so quick, but me ever
Right,
achieve.
somewhere about.
mhm.
Yeah. And you so if you're here alone, you have, yeah, say you're not a picnic, whatever. I don't know your situation is. 'Cause people who have kids, they're going to save less because they have the kids, they have to pay insurance for them
Before
and
and after
food
care, if they're
and
young kids.
everything, all of that. So for that, when you have a family here, it takes more. But if you have a partner who's working to help you over here,
Yeah.
like, because you can take your spouse once you guys are married,
Mhm.
it's a bit easy, it's easier there, it's easier. But if it is like as a single mom, I don't know, me just feel like that rough,
But
as with having the kids here in America with you.
Chantal,
But I don't know,
most of these programs,
because
most of the J1 programs, they encourage you, or not encourage, but they prevent you from bringing your spouse or your kids for the first 90 days. And at
yeah,
first, when
before.
I looked at it, I said, boy, these people are wicked.
they
But
know why they do it.
at it,
Mhm.
they're actually looking out for you. because it
They
does
do.
take some time to settle in, and it's easier for you to send $200 to Jamaica for your child, or for whoever is taking
Yeah.
care of the child, than to have them here and have to pay $300 for before care, $300 for after care, when they could have easily
Yeah.
sent
It's
$300 for the month to take care of your
I,
child in
I,
Jamaica.
I think these things are teaching, as Chantal said, it is mainly beneficial for single individuals and if you even if you're single, you still have, because as Metelo, I know a few teachers on the program, and as I say, it may be different because different state, we can't overstate that, but
Right.
yeah, people still, it's still not much up because of the situation. So it's an individual situation as well as collective what I would say now, collective detriments then can be used in your individual situation. I want to make that seem as plausible as it can, because it can work out for you good if you're a single like Chantal who can, go and juggle, and as you
but
say, you
even if
live
you
with.
have kids too, you
Yeah,
like
but
once
you
no
no
that's
yeah, but
it.
with
If you send
with
it back a yard, you make the money. Yeah, it's easier. But like when you have them up here without a man
But I know
being
it's
here to work
difficult
with you,
to leave your child or your children for
it
a
is.
certain period.
It
Everything is
is.
a sacrifice. Yeah, either sacrificing
And
the
let me
money
say,
or
I've
having
seen
this.
other teachers done it, and me big them up every time.
Yeah. But I
But
want to say also, because we're talking about if the grass is greener. We said this a million times, and I'm gonna say it again. It depends on the county that you're in. It
the
depends on
situation,
your qualification and your years of experience. So if you have 3 years of experience, your pay now goes so much baby love. All right. Um, if you have 3 years, it's not gonna be as much. I want to compare my county, and I keep saying I'm not putting my county on the internet. Because of course, once somebody know your county, they can go ahead and just simply research how much you're earning.
yeah.
Once they have an idea of how many years you've been teaching for. But I look at myself when you guys are getting these jobs, please compare, contrast, all these things. Look at how feasible it is for you. I'm looking at my county, and I'm looking at the fact that I want to put my business out there without putting my business out there.
I know,
but
right?
you have
Because
to
we
be
not
you have
tell
to
you
be
how much you are
open,
gonna save, you know. We would not tell you how much you save.
Yeah.
with in all honesty, because I don't know for your program, because it's the first I'm hearing of the program that you guys use.
It's a
I
large.
know I know a lot of people that use, like, I don't even want to say their name, the G1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like they don't know where they will be placed at, because you will get an interview, because it's like an, well, US need teacher now, like Sangrian,
Yeah.
cause trust me, yeah. So you will get something, but you don't know, because for a friend of mine also that came up, he was placed like in a county where it at like a some back of God and turn left, and then you take one next
No,
turn
but
off
it's not
after
gonna be
back
a
of God.
surprise. It's not gonna be a surprise to you, because the moment I got an interview with my school, before I even did the interview, I start research the school, see where it
Mm-hmm.
was, and just I just
Yeah.
got so fascinated, and so I was looking for everything. So the moment you get your job, you look where your school is located, you look what the community looks like, you look what your salary will be like, or even if and you will get your salary before you get your salary will not be a surprise. You will get your offer letter, and you will know what you will be earning.
Well, I don't know. As I said, I don't know for your program, because it's the first time I was hearing about
All
your
programs, you have
program.
to get the offer letter before you come, because you're not coming blindly.
Yeah, I know, but for like
It's on your DS that you bring
even
to
if
the
they put
embassy.
something on Google Map or something, because I went and I looked for that friend. I met her when we a drive go look for the friend. Me I say, then people plant tobacco America same way. I mean, they know, so them something I go and same way. Some wrong turn community we I go through, and some hills and valley, and deep down
You
in
can
some
ask your program, and anybody here is listening, you can ask your program sponsor to put you in a different school if you don't like the school that you're at. People don't know that they can do this, but you can. So for the next coming year, you tell the sponsors in advance, and have them look for somewhere for you. Because at the end of the day, it's an agreement between you and the sponsor. You have to be comfortable, not just the sponsors. I know personally of people within my program who have asked to leave from the school that they were at initially, and they were granted that they got to go to a different school. But the point that I was making before was that while I say to do your research, the county that I am in, I'm comparing with a friend of mine in a different county. That friend has more years of experience than I do. That friend has more qualifications than I do, and we're earning the same thing after tax. You understand? Her bills are also
Mhm.
higher, rent is more expensive and whatnot, so you just have to do your thing. And we're here to discuss the differences, because for some it will be greener, and that's the reality. For some it will not. Chantal keeps saying no children. I don't have children. I have a husband here with me to help me at the same time. So I'm gonna be
Wait till
honest
you reach
with
the
my
one year
sister.
mark, Malika. Wait until you have done 1 year. I'm
And this is
still
my
not sure
second year.
because, but somebody said to me when I posted this on my Instagram, somebody replied to my story and said, "It's not that the grass is greener, Chantal. It's because you have more money to buy more green paint to paint it." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I,
But, but,
yeah,
but,
period.
It's greener
Because
in
I just
some
the money
sense,
for
and
buy more
it's not greener in
things.
some sense.
yeah.
Because I
In
wouldn't go back to Jamaica to teach right now. I'm gonna be honest. Not just
Listen,
because
man.
there's
Listen.
a
Me
lot of
hear
work.
them.
We're not
Me hear
telling
them
a
a roll out
lie.
civics down there. Me a wonder me can go back down here. I go teach civics because right now, right
When I
now,
hear the
right now.
portfolio that teachers have to do now to get certified and whatnot, honestly, I would not go back to Jamaica to teach, not just because of the money, not just
But
because of the money,
but
because yeah,
Malika. But we basically have to do the same thing here. I don't know what are the new things because as I said, I didn't go to the program, so I don't know. You were telling me that the program will no. You have to do your license on your own and things like that. Give me a second.
yeah, they tell you where to go to sign up, but technically, when you think about it, it's really you sorting it out by yourself. Chantal, would you say that? When you come on to get your
Yeah.
license, yeah, you upload what you're supposed to
What?
upload and submit what you're supposed to
Yeah.
submit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the same thing because like when I was doing my license, it was like 170. I have to first send for my degree at Michael, get it evaluated by one of their credential
All of
place.
us have to do it,
Then
whether you're on program or not.
right. Then I did I had to pay $175 for the license. And then there are stipulations on the license. I don't know if you guys get stipulations on your license. Stipulation mean you have to complete some amount of course or they will only grant you the license for a year
We
and
don't
it
have
has to be
courses for
renewed.
some people. Everybody's thing is different because in Georgia,
Yeah.
and I was at a meeting the other day, and I realized that everybody's license is different based on
Mm-hmm.
the degree that you have. Because some people I realize
Mm-hmm.
still have courses to do. I don't have to do a
Yep.
course; you just have to do an exam, a content exam, to
Yep.
finish fulfilling our license. Um,
Yep.
Still, I feel like getting the license in Jamaica, what they're trying to do is still a lot more. All we had to do for Georgia, we had to upload or evaluate a degree. We had to
Mm-hmm.
upload when we got here something called a verification of lawful presence, a little document that you get a notary to sign to say, yeah, you're legally in the country. You upload your
Okay.
ID, you upload your work permit, um, your work authorization, and that was it basically. If I'm not missing anything, you upload all those things, they review your thing, and you do a thing called an ethics test, which was so simple.
Mm-hmm.
I can't discuss it because
It's
whatever.
ethical. Yeah.
Right. Um, yeah, we just do all those things. Nothing too long. They correspond with
I
your
don't know. I don't know. I can't speak. I can't speak with authority on what the what is being asked of the for the teaching license back home. But I, I don't even know. But things that sometimes I mean as I said, I don't want to seem like whatever. But I think sometimes no being here, and this is probably one of the things that has changed with me, Chantal, is no being here. But things that out of yard will make too much noise sometimes for things that would will come up here and hug up. Honest to God, because as me say, a lot of times because me I tell you the truth. Sometime when me look at it and me compare back home and me I say, but no, not even the whole sweep in a classroom. If we ever go in when
Yeah.
me tell them, me say, listen,
Woman.
when you step into a classroom, students stand and say good morning. They
and
pin
That
them,
don't mean no my back, you know.
they pin them come like they want to tell me a couple bad word when me tell them that. Me say yes,
them not answer. A lot of them don't answer.
yeah,
They look at
Yeah,
you.
me say
yeah, they
students
don't
certain things. I
say.
may say, look at this. Me come here, hug up bad word. I make bad word. I turn lullaby in my ears hole when if we But
I
as I
mean,
said, probably that's just me just looking at it and comparing it, and I say that's why I wouldn't even mind if I had to go back home and get licensed. Yes, some of the things the ministry needs to listen to teachers. They need to take into consideration a
yeah,
better remuneration package. But
Yeah.
to teachers that are running and coming and teachers here, we need to be truthful too, and we need to paint the proper picture. A grass greenish, brownish, sometimes it look greener, and it look and yeah,
Depending
and
on
they look
where
at
you
something.
are, what you
for
teach.
me, it's
Right.
greenish
Spanish.
brownish. I'm
It's
not gonna tell
greenish
Spanish.
lie.
brownish. I
I'm
can say
not
it's
teacher.
it's
It's
greenish
greenish
brownish, and
brownish.
we need to be honest, and we need to talk the truth, because a lot of times people
No,
use
but
social
Tani,
media,
when they
use
talk the
social.
truth, it's implying that if somebody say it green, it's not truth. When in
No,
truth,
no,
it's
no, no,
grass
not that, not
green.
in that sense, Malika, not in that sense.
All
A lot
right.
of times people post things on social media, and a lot of people watch social media to say whether you are live certain lifestyle or not, and it's not the
Right.
truth. That's what I'm talking about, and we need to be honest. Just as though we're here bearing our souls and telling you, a 2 time for the month me get paid, and the first place to pay my rent. Let me tell you that, because when the rent, yeah, and then the second one, me need to start to talk between the credit card company and everything else. So yes, and yes, I live here, and yes, I have kids and all of that. But and I can still say, because that's just a discipline that I've taken, because I've been saving since I was back home.
Mm-hmm.
And that and in truth, the other day I heard the Favor Williams said something about bringing some um like financial literacy to teachers. I must say, under the post, under the green up on Instagram, then drag Favor go, and then drag Favor come,
You
and
can't
then
listen to
drag.
Fable too
But
much now, man. She not.
eh,
Anyway. You can't listen to Fable too tough.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, sometimes we need to exercise the discipline back home, because they say you have to learn to dance a yard before you come abroad, come dance. And the only way we come abroad, we come a
Mhm.
dance good. Me always say the most disciplined place at Jamaica up a US embassy, because you never hear a man. Me hear people cuss bad with all courthouse, but you never hear a man open their mouth too hard up a US embassy. And
That's
we
true.
need to take stock. We need to take stock of certain things, but
So
it is greenish brownish. It is brackish, as they would say. The water is brackish. It is
Mhm.
brackish. It is
I
greenish
want to
um,
brownish.
res- I want to respond to
Nadia asks
Tashana's
if you're
question.
yeah.
Right. Tashana, legally on a J1 program, and that's the answer I'm giving. Legally on a J1 program, you're supposed to go back to your country. So even if you love it here, you're supposed to go back to your country for at least 2 years. It's called the 2 year residency rule. If you want to stay here, you have to do something called a waiver. I haven't finished my J1 program, so I will not be speaking about that right now. Also, I have one last question, and I think, and I'm speaking for me and Chantal right about now. So,
Thank you.
let
Yeah.
me ask for Tani and Chantal before we wrap this thing up. We touched a little bit on it, but I really want you to tell people what, because we are talking about greener and we're not just talking about lesson planning, we're not just talking about your what you call it, your pay or your salary. What are the
Mental
health
health.
benefits like for you here? How would you compare to your health benefits back home? Chantal spoke about her high medical bill the other day, but what
I
are
mean,
the
I wonder if you have
what
the
are the
audacity if you come bring up back that, you know, the people them.
no, what no, what is what do you get a health card? What is it like? Is it similar to or different from in Jamaica? How so?
All right, all right. I can't speak because I just listen. Healthcare in America is very expensive, because
Very.
right across the board. No, you see,
Me
even
try
Canada,
find the
Canada.
paper.
It's expensive, Malika, very expensive, because to have, and it goes to state again. People, you can go on the website and look up, like, because I just gave birth, and it's like $20,000. Yeah. Granted, my husband has medical
My month after
insurance.
birthday just give to.
My husband has health insurance, and very good health insurance too. So that will bring it down, but it is still very high. It is still very, very high. I just did my glasses, because I wear glasses. And when I compare it to what we used to do with my health insurance back home, it's basically the same thing, because they take like about $2 something for my family, about $7 something come out of my pay for my family thing. because I just do vision. I just do vision because my husband has everything else on his insurance, so I just do vision because I wear glasses. And I just like Monday, I went to get my glasses changed because from I leave Jamaica 3 years ago. Me I same glass me I wear, so it's one change though. And I had to pay out of pocket with my insurance $277 still.
Um,
Well, for me, health wise, right now,
how much you paying for a health card, Chantal? And
monthly
what
I
that
pay
covers and what that covers.
$70.
How much you pay?
Honestly, I pay $70 a
Okay.
month. Honestly, I
What
really
does that
don't know what
cover?
it covers right now since I have received this bill. So I can't really tell her if it a cover none because emergency room alone costs 1,399 and
Wow.
lab and pathology costs 196, and out of that it covered $895, and I have to the payable amount on my end that I have to pay is $699. So
Listen,
honestly,
guys, my teeth was hurting. I had
yeah,
a bad tooth the other day, and I waited until I went back to Jamaica to deal with it. And
yeah.
unfortunately, as soon as I got back, I had another tooth that chipped, and I had to go to the dentist here, or health insurance that when I say they, the company give us health insurance that we pay them $70 every month, because you're supposed to have health insurance as a J1 holder, visa holder. Anyway, it does not cover in Jamaica. I'm gonna say this is where the grass is greener in Jamaica, health wise, and
Yes.
It's
talking
cheaper
about this. But in
and you
Jamaica,
spend
I was
less time in
paying,
the hospital for wait for people to
right.
deal with
In
you.
Jamaica, I was paying with working with the government. So if you're not working with the government, don't say, "Oh, I have to pay $4,000 for health insurance in Jamaica." I'm speaking from the,
Teacher
I was working
perspective,
with the
the MO,
government.
yeah, for MOE
Right.
perspective. Mhm.
For a single plan at the time, I was paying $600 monthly, and I upgraded to a family plan, which was like I think $2,000.
$1,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I had a single plan, and even with the what you call it, the family plan, I was able to get health, regular health, like going to your doctor,
Doctor visit, yeah, doctor visitor.
gynecologist, and health, what you call it, eye care, dental care. That's what
Mm-hmm.
our health insurance covered in Jamaica. Cool. When I went to the doctor for a regular doctor visit in Jamaica, out of pocket, maybe I would pay five
fifteen
hundred
hundred
dollars.
dollars.
It's so
Or
much out
yeah,
of pocket.
yeah,
Like for a regular doctor visit, maybe if I go to the
yeah.
gynecologist, maybe I would pay like $1,500 out of pocket, right? Here, the $70 is only covering my general, my we call it my GP, we call it GP, general practitioner. It does
Mm-hmm.
not cover my eye care. It does not cover dental. If you want that, you have to
Wow,
pay more to add
wow.
that to it. And yes, so what I did for my eyes the other day, Tani, is I got my eyes tested at the Walmart eye care thing.
Yeah.
Then I got
Mm-hmm.
my prescription. God so put this student in my class who had a nice glasses, and I said, I like your glasses. And she said, thank you. My mom got it for $25 on Fermo.com. I'm gonna say what? And she write down the name for me. So I got my prescription from Walmart for at the time $52. I think it's $70 now. Then I
Oh,
uploaded my prescription to Fermo.com, and I was able to actually get three glasses for
wow,
$200.
wow.
All prescription, all we call it transitional lens.
Transition lens, yeah.
I got three glasses for about $200. So thank God for the online thing.
Wow.
Otherwise, I think Walmart was offering me like most of the glasses. My thing with if I had bought my glasses at Walmart, it would have been like $400 for one glasses, separate from
Mm.
the $52 that I paid for my prescription. So I did that online. Dental, as I said, I went home,
No,
put it.
dental is a killer. 'Cause even in Canada, because I have a uncle, and sometimes he say, better come on to me. No man, dental is trust me, healthcare,
Adrian, hold
healthcare.
on, hold on. And I know people are going to complain and say, it's cheaper in Jamaica, but is the healthcare good? Do not underestimate our Jamaican doctors.
Listen,
Do not do it. Jamaican
I have
doctors are
been
good.
more
We don't have all the
appreciate
facilities for certain like major
Yep,
diseases and whatnot, but
yep,
for our simple
yep.
dental or
it's
simple
not
eye
just
care,
that.
we're good,
And
man.
I, ju- and not just that, But I've been so much more appreciative of the system, the healthcare system there, in terms of when I got sick last year, I could have just simply go to one doctor just quick, so I'm gonna spend the whole day. But in Georgia where I am at, you know how long me sit down and I had to wait for
Yeah,
so
and
long. And then
On
when they
Jamaica, they
call my
have
name,
strength from.
yeah, man, because it's not like in Jamaica where you can just easily go to a private doctor right there like that. Like,
Mm-hmm,
well,
mm-hmm.
well,
You have to
unless
go
you have a
urgent care. You go
personal doctor.
urgent care.
No,
Urgent
spend
care. You
long
have
at
to go.
urgent care. Spend long
Hmm.
at urgent care.
Urgent
Mm-mm,
care. Yeah.
long. I still spent long. Still
Yeah.
spent long.
I go to a Hispanic
I know
doctor right
somebody
now,
who still
Hispanic
spent
place, so
long.
I can get mine cheaper.
But when
No,
you just
trust
come
me.
and you
What
don't know
did
a
you have to do?
personal doctor,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to go like urgent care or one of them hospital there. You spend
And
long,
it's
and
not
then the
like
price to go
it's not like
emergency
Jamaica
room.
where even though your doctor might work in the hospital, but they have the private practice. It's not like
Yeah,
that here. Because Dr. Dawes was my doctor back home and Dr. Halsall. And you just call the doctor office and say, I want to make an appointment. No, because even with my gynecologist that I use during my pregnancies, she works at the hospital and I have to go to the hospital and see her because I couldn't pay money to go if she had a private practice. I don't even know if she have a private practice. You can't pay for because them people are private. You'd have got pay through your nose. So healthcare, we have to be careful. And
To be
you see,
honest, at the Hispanic place that I go to right now, I don't even bother to use my health card because I don't know what that's doing. I pay $45 actually to see my doctor. But every time I go, she want me to do some. She always want me to do some either blood test or some extra something when me never come
mhm,
here.
yeah,
mhm,
doing
mhm.
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I think I paid for like a pap smear the other day. It was what, $150 or $200? I don't remember. There, that's amount without insurance. Then the insurance that they give to us is not everywhere accept it.
yeah.
Well,
Like
my
I have
my
doctor's appointment that I'm canceling right now because I
no girl, go
yeah, I'm
take care of your
canceling
health. Me
them.
not tell her no
No,
lie.
I
Go take
know.
care.
No,
No,
it's not saying to take
I
care of
understand
it,
what you're
but
saying.
how much it's going to cost me to do an ultrasound and one
Oh,
surgery
no, no,
do
no,
something.
no. Listen,
May I go
I have.
Jamaica go do that?
Let me tell you, my husband has very good healthcare because even when I got a dentist, he look a China lady. Good healthcare. Cause then they love look for your healthcare, They love look for it. A good healthcare, no out of pocket, no. I mean, I tell you, it bill them sometimes can be eye opening. Same way with the good insurance, it can be very eye opening when you see the bill them
I
come.
feel like it's more with healthcare. Let me tell you why. Because Chantal and I were talking the other day, and when she told me her bill that she paid with insurance and my bill for similar things without the insurance, I feel like they top it up when they hear that you're using
Your
insurance. They up
insurance,
the
they
price.
milk
You
it,
still have to pay. You still have to pay a
they
lot
milk it.
of it.
They milk it, but Janko people, Meek and Malika, I don't know how long if you have any more questions, but
Yeah,
me
man.
just want to
We're
tell the
wrapping up.
people, I
Mm-hmm.
want to tell the people them say as it is, it's an individual thing, but you have to take collective lessons as you go along.
Yes,
The,
that's a
the
big
grass is brackish, as I will call it, it's greenish brownish, and it depends on your state. And also too, what I've found is that most of the teachers that are recruited, and I stand corrected, someone can correct me, most of the teachers that are recruited from on any one of the programs, guys, you're not placed in the best school district
That is
because
right.
Yeah,
You get
better
what
the
left.
you get what the better
Yeah.
school districts have, the more affluent things, they're better funded, and it's a district where nobody no wants to every teacher.
and the classes.
Ask Malika, how many teachers have left your school since you have been there?
I mean, people leave in the middle of the school year. People
In
leave
the
like,
mega people just get up and leave. Listen, me a help take my mental register. When me go in and me not see somebody for 2 days, me go and me say, Chantal, you see so and so. And Chantal being the American she is, so and so. Oh, they resign. And they start a little story behind it. Trust me.
mhm.
You are not placed in the best districts. You are not. I have the leeway of jumping from here, there, and everywhere because, as I
Your
said, it's
situation
not
is
through a
different.
program.
Right.
Right. I am a resident, so I can. switch jobs and whatever. But when you're on the contract, and sometimes someone was telling me that even if you have to change the school, Malika, sometimes you know to play in a your favor either, because
True,
they
true.
will like we want front upon you and certain things when you're in the program. So guys, just be mindful of these things. On a wall ancho foot to the fire, on a wall favor foot to the fire. So I don't want more, but God no. We have something where education is concerned. I think the Caribbean has a lot to do because discipline takes education takes discipline,
Hmm.
and a lot of it is lacking here. Where
Right.
where you did a teach out the art soul and know soul, and yeah, wonder who you are reach. Thank God for Chantal and the art students them learn the verbs them or something. Yeah, but a lot Chantal me know that thing come with bully for art campaign
Girl.
because
I have most hello. Let me say this first of all.
Oh
Chantal and I teach the same thing, but I cannot teach my kids conjugation of verbs because I have a different set of students. Um, Chantal has mostly Hispanic, so you're teaching Spanish to Hispanic.
oh
Right, I'm
to
teaching
Spanish
Spanish to
speakers.
no,
students
yeah,
who
well,
do not
that
have
class
that
has mostly
background.
Hispanic, but it has 8 non-natives.
Yeah, but may
We
have
have
like
Black
25
American pitney.
non-natives.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of the other
so
pitney them still learn too. I mean, them learn. Like the great
What are
mm,
thing
your
them a
class
black
sizes
pitney
like,
teach.
Tani? Sorry, quick question. What are your class sizes like? I
big.
know we need to go, but
Big, big, big. Like I have classes like are over like 30. Cause as me say, them strap for teachers.
What?
I think I have one that is 29. And it fluctuates because I have five AP classes, five.
I have
And
six classes. Well, no, I have six
Just have
classes, but I see them
three.
every other day.
no,
Just have three
and that the
classes.
next thing. That is the next thing that did strike me. Cause you know at Jamaica, like you see one class Monday and I send back again till Thursday, cause we had block sessions every day and twice on Sundays.
I see,
Every day.
I see mine every other day though.
Every
Every other
No,
day.
day.
because you guys do block sessions. We don't do block sessions. So I see them.
Every day.
So it's not like, oh my God, I can get to decompress from this class and I won't see them
Yeah,
until
yeah,
Thursday.
And when you see her,
Every
some of them a come. Yeah, so she couldn't turn her head.
yeah.
Look here, Chantal and I'll get me fired before I get a bonus, you know, so just go on. Anyways, so so these are some of the things that, and for me, I heard one of your guests last week. I think it was Christine. Her name was, I don't remember.
Christiana,
Um,
Christiana.
Christiana, and she said she wanted the experience and the thing because she taught in France or some one of those countries before or whatever. But
Yeah,
when we think about the my mental me cry too, me cry to Sean. I'm not a crier because yeah, but me cry. I've cried a few times. Me call out my husband from work a ball, a ball. I
There are times
work.
when I'm in my room and I don't leave my room. Like last
Me no
weekend,
come out of my
I
one
didn't
either.
leave.
the only
Me
time
ball.
I cried once, and it was that time when I had the fight. Because in that moment, I felt like I left my country and I came here and I'm failing. That's how I felt in that
Yeah,
moment.
Hello.
man. I feel like I'm just going backwards. Like I'm like, you sure you made the right decision? Because yes, you're making some money, but then your mental health is being affected so much. Like, why
That's
are
what
you
I'm
doing it?
saying.
So
Is it worth it? Sometime when you
I
say
don't know yet.
is it worth,
But the
because
fact when
if
I buy me look at things, I'ma feel nice, I feel good. And the fact that I can
your
say, all
therapy,
right,
that's your
I
therapy.
want to, that's my therapy, and I want to travel. I can go and travel. I can see another state and all of that. Now
Yeah.
that I have done it, I
I
see
like
it
living
when
in
I
a
go
first world
overseas.
country. I won't lie. I like the fact
Hello.
The
that I can do
Amazon
things
Malika,
shipping.
may you talk about
without.
that me and you talk about that first world status the half year because yeah, but as me say, audience guys, I must say it has been a up and down experience for me. And granted that I am on the on the other side, me not differentiate myself from because we are teachers all over. But guys who are
But you have
thinking
a
about
husband
it,
who's a citizen as well, and you guys have different benefits and so on and so forth.
right. So yeah, in a lot of sense, and but I like teaching, and and I must say that sometimes me have to wonder. Sometimes my friends say, listen, not even upper even me now go teach Sunday school after me left out of this system again, you know. Not even even me now go teach Sunday school because I can't take a problem. We can't take a problem. But yeah, it is. cost benefit analysis, you have to song, you have to do that stringently. Look on it, turn you upside down, tear off your clothes, look at everything before on a dip on a foot in it, because me telling you, when I have some emotional breakdown, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's what me don't know why I'm
Depending on
like
where you are.
I really don't
Overall,
know.
my advice again is just when you come here, in whatever situation you're placed in, even if you have to share with someone for a while, go with it and save some money. If you are not sharing with someone and you're on your own, try to budget as best as possible. If you have to get a car loan, go ahead and take it out. But and in my opinion, it is a lot.
And then
I
with the car Chantal, we have to be careful too, because me tell you say a whole lot of people experience the collective experience I am learning from, even though, because a girlfriend of mine too, she bought a car and they basically sold her a lemon, because where she was, she never really have nobody to tell her, and she took out this car loan. And listen man, her me tell us I love that girl. So tell she have fight. When me I tell her she have fight because
right.
she had to care about
You
the
have to
car, and
fight it up here.
yeah, she have to care about the car, every friend she drive off the car
I've
for a
been in
lot,
that
and then the people them a
situation.
say, yes, you have to care about the car, them a
I've
tell
been
her
in
so they
that
can't take off the
situation.
car, take back the car, and then she don't have nobody run her, and
No.
fear, and like where you there where you can get Lyft and Uber, whip her she there is back again and turn left, and then you turn from the other side of left, yeah. It is really really tedious on her. It's really tedious. So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and that is my
I
two
would
cent
say,
word on
I would
greener.
say, sorry. I'd say yes. So get the, if you have to get a car loan, get it, but don't just get it right away. Like if you can save towards it so that you can afford the whole thing that it come with. Go ahead.
Most of the car marts are
Um,
gonna tell you that the lowest car that they have is for like 18,000 US. So only do the
which is
math.
not true. Yeah.
Only do
So
the
if
math.
you can buy a car on Facebook Marketplace or offer up or
Or
whatever
offer up.
thing, what yeah,
And do una
go
try get
ahead and
somebody,
make sure you
get me
get
no know
somebody
what
to
gonna
look at
find
it.
somebody. Yes, get some, just like a Jamaica when you go buy the car
Trust me,
mechanic
girl
go.
has been through that.
Trust me,
But we're not going to
my
that.
friend feel it, because she don't know nothing about car, and she got buy the car for how much thing, and then the car matter give her a run around, then she have put money in a one lemon, and listen man,
Yeah.
listen,
So
no things.
that, and when you come, don't as me say, try to eat right. Like if anybody that eat right at Jamaica, it's fine. But you see that food here, we're up here, it's I don't think it's real. Um, s- your poop smells different. I don't want to get too you know, it
Me love
changes your
cook,
body. So when you come
me
here,
love cook.
try cooking on. Come cooking on, me cook all, but the meat not taste the same or whatever.
Yeah,
So
the meat
personally,
definitely, no. You could have seasoned it
no matter how much you squeeze them,
three
3 4
year in
time.
into
So
the
I'd
chicken
say
them.
yeah, man, in already. So I'd say eat right and exercise so that you stay out of the hospital because
Right.
health is expensive,
And
and
create boundaries with the picnic them, because them gonna take up on the food and eat it. The picnic take up my water and I drink. But so only for drink, me never take up and teach her water,
them
you
beg
eat and
a
drink.
lot. Yeah, man,
If you don't take up my water, then just come, then
them
go
beg.
to your desk. Listen, I have my phone and I've never put on security on my phone. Come in, I have nothing. Me don't have nothing. You know, and I had to put on a pin on my phone. Me pull on my phone on the desk mirror and pin on the back. Miss Plummer, your camera quality is really. So I said, boy, we had to do the
Honey, honey,
Yeah.
in I back a
So
one pitney yard one teacher find her phone. Okay? Okay. I
listen, man.
walk.
Then go and then draw out your drawer, and then go into your computer. If you ever turn the back for your decks, I may say, on the door, make me cause some colorful words inside it.
they they're brave. I mean, a kid has asked me, Miss Pinnock, you got a man?
yeah, them
Yeah, they're
forward.
them
Yep, my
straightforward.
pitney them told me say,
And
I
so
saw Miss Palmer Allen, I saw you in Walmart with your man. I said, Jesus peace. In a Jamaica pitney say husband, even if not your husband.
Yes, and then talk about them sexual proclivities right there and then. Me don't know if me go
yeah,
school,
that
but as
for
me say,
me, no. I have a lot of that.
them
Listen, Listen, you have to make sure your facial expression them, you keep them neutral,
Listen.
because they will say things out loud and things will be done in your presence, and you can't discriminate against anyone. Mind you, I've been teaching in high school, so certain things may kind of used to, but not to a certain
Not too.
intensity.
Next, me step on the lock of them. Them mad to use them back and then tongue tear off the lock of them. Me say no move. Oh no, me say no move. They not understand when me say
But my
certain
girl
things.
for just understand them,
Yeah.
honestly.
So
So I would
teachers is
say
a lot.
fight,
I'm sorry, guys. If
fight
we are
it.
kind of wrapping up now, if you have questions, now is the time to drop them in the comments. If there are any
Yeah.
questions, now is the time to drop them. Continue, guys. Sorry.
So I said, save. Don't try to live in the American dream. What you see on YouTube is not what you're getting as a teacher. Yours as a teacher having a regular 9 to 5 here. Your money values when you go back home to Jamaica. A dollar is a dollar here. So don't try to like come up here and see everything in the store and you start buy and buy everything by Amazon and everything, and buy everything in the store. Try to save as much as you can.
And
And
learn how to use the
even if you're
credit card.
sending money back home, yeah. And even if you're sending money back home to Jamaica, like, me not say enough to help your family. I'm always about doing that. But just remember, say you're starting here from scratch. So you come, you know, have a bed, you know, have a dresser. There are certain things that you're acquiring from scratch. So even when you're sending back money home to help with family and everything, try to do it in a way where you're not going to end up not have not even $1 afterwards. So split it in a two if you have to, or strive to sort out certain things, and yeah, because it that will stress you out on top of it. Secondly, the health thing. Thirdly, try to find something that make you happy. So if I even dance to Jamaican music in your class at daytime to make you smile, or watch something on TikTok will make you laugh, do that. Mental health is key, and you just have to try to make yourself happy. When you meet the pitney them are gonna nicely at first. They're manipulators. So
Mhm.
just always rough with them. You better rough with them for 6 months, and then for the 6 months you ease up with them a little bit. Little by little do. Yeah. And just put in your mind, so you're there for the money and you're there for fight. Every struggle is a struggle, everything I go rough, but
All
you have to
right.
choose a struggle where gonna push you faster to your goal. So that's my take.
Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Tanny. And if any
Yeah.
of y'all need to go right now, it's fine.
No,
But
we're
we're
there, we get
wrapping
to
up.
the end like Chucky.
All right, I'm just
We're right
going into
through
the comment
this.
section. Some questions are there now. We're gonna quickly respond to these questions. Tashana said, "What is the process of getting a used
Hi
car? Let's say
Tashana.
you have." She's been telling you hi for a long time. Anyway, what is the process of getting a used car? Let's say you have $2,000. Tashana, let me say, without shame in my eyes, my husband and I, well, my husband, he got a car for 3,500 or something like that. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Yes. Of offer up. He used the app called Offer Up. He checked for a long time before he just went in and bought one. It's not no brand new car. We tell you already, you have to be humble and know what you're coming to hear about. It's not no brand new car. But he also used it alongside this app called Carfax, where you get to check and see how many people had owned a car before, if it had ever been in a accident, and he also got a mechanic to check the car. But aside from that, you do need to have your driver's license. When you get in a car, because of course you're gonna need that when you're getting the, we call it, insurance and all these things.
Yeah.
First thing I would say, Tashana, is get your license. To get a license, you're gonna need, like, I think, two proof of address, of your address, and your other documents that you would use to get here, like your DS 2019, your I-94, and those things. And once that's that, you just start looking around for cars. It's a similar process to Jamaica where cars are concerned. If you're not going through one of the car marts, but you can't get a car for $2,000 at a car mart, honey. As I said before, most of these car marts are selling the cars for $1,000. Camille is saying, can you come back home after a year, even if you're on the J1 program? Yes, baby love. We'll go back home and we'll visit with families. All you have to do, though, you have your DS 2019. If you're on a J1, you have to get your program sponsor to sign it, giving you permission basically to go back home. It's not every time you're moving, you need the person to sign it. Once it's signed, it's valid for a year. After the year, you get them to sign it again. And yeah, you can go back if you want to go home every month. That is your business. Um, Evie, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the name, is asking what is common core curriculum. I'm not sure of what you're asking, Chantal, Tani. Do you guys know what?
Well,
Could
I'm
you
not
No,
specify
no.
gonna lie, me the back
why
of
we
the
got
I
class
don't
on
I
that
don't
one,
know
yeah.
half my things about them talk about. I
Back of
just
the
go
class,
do
me dip on
it.
that one, yeah.
All right, I don't know what the common core curriculum is that you're talking about, Evie. If you could rephrase the question, perhaps. AP is asking, what's the topic for next week? This was a good one. Guys, next week, because this is a four-part series, next week we will be zooming in on China. So for this week and last week, we spoke about Jamaican teachers in the United States, seeing if it's feasible. For 1 week, which is next week, we'll be talking to teachers, Jamaican teachers in China, um, understanding their issues there, their struggles, seeing if it's better for them there, if their grass is greener over in China. Perhaps you're looking for your options. You want to see if you want to go to the United States, or maybe you have your eyes on China. So that's what the discussion will be next week. Jamaican teachers in China speaking out on whether the grass is greener on that side. Um, what sides again, Tashana? Sorry, brain all over the place.
Oh, Camille is saying that to come home for good. Like, can you come back home
After a year,
after
I
1 year?
mean,
In
go ahead.
terms of that, don't take my full word on it, but you, I think there's somebody who came home. Anyways, I think you can come home, like leave the job that you're here doing in America, come home, and then after again you apply for another job overseas and another program. But because your J1 visa is not up yet because you have 3 years on it, what that program sponsor would have to do is to give you another DS 2019. So they would write another DS 2019, and then your CVs would change. That's a whole some other
I
document they
think
have to
if
send in or
I
something
think if you
like
come off your contract before the time, like you voluntarily, first of all, the visa is no longer going to be valid. It's not going to be valid anymore. And I think the 2 year, because
that. You sure?
I was literally reading on this just a few days ago. You still would be subjected to the 2 year rule. So you still would have to go through the whole waiver thing, and it's gonna pose a problem perhaps when you go to the embassy. Um, so let's say you come here for a year, you work your life, say, boy, this is not for me. You go back to Jamaica, then maybe you change your mind again. You say, boy, I want to come back up maybe on a H1B or something else. Um, it may be an issue, so I would say write out your stamp for the 3 years. Um, and if anybody
Yeah,
knows otherwise, please feel free to go ahead and say so in the chat, because we're all here to learn together.
I think
Um,
you can come back still, but I don't
no,
know.
you can come back. You can come back. It's just how
On the
soon you
same
come.
J1, once it is not
It would have been
cancelled.
the same. Your visa would be once it withdraw from the program. Your visa is gonna be canceled instantly, and I think you're gonna have like
Okay.
30 days grace period to leave the country. Yeah,
Okay.
then you'd have to start
Any
the process
teacher
all
program
over
that
again
one
to try to
can
come
go
back.
on.
Hold
Any
on,
teacher program that one can go on even if they don't have a driver's license.
Interlage, the one
Yeah.
that we're on.
And Green Hearts Exchange. Green Heart
But
Exchange.
I keep saying
Yeah.
it. Know how to drive. If
But
you
that
can
one you
type it
have
in
to
the chat,
pay.
type those in the chat, Chantal, please. If you can,
I don't
Interlash.
know where to see
Oh,
how
you
to
don't know?
where to
Oh,
type.
okay.
No.
Let me see what you said. Green heart, the
Yeah, Green Heart
regular heart
Exchange. But that
only.
one you have to pay to join though.
Oh, you have
Um
some of those programs where
I
you have
think
to.
participate is free. I don't know if you have to have a driver's license. I know for sure for EPI you definitely have to have one. For TPG they did not say that I have to have one. I'm not
Uh,
on TPG by the way. I'm on Interlodge.
guys, even
But
if you don't have a
I had
driver's
gotten through for
license,
TPG
even if you
and
don't
they
have a
didn't
driver's,
ask me.
sorry, we keep on a cut your Chantal, but even if you
That's
don't have a
fine.
driver's license, know how to drive, because most of these places do not have a bus route, and you cannot live off a Lyft and Uber for the rest of the time, and you will eventually have to get a vehicle if your area does not have trains and buses. So I understand when some of these programs, a lot of the rules that the programs have, I'm starting to understand why they're saying, oh, you must have a driver's license. It's not that you're going to come here and use a Jamaican driver's license. It's really that they want to know that you
Okay.
can drive for true, because you will need to
Yeah.
know how to drive to get yourself around. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable experience for you.
Someone said participate requires driver's license. I didn't know. Where did your husband purchase his car? I think you had
He
said
used
he
that app
purchased it
called
on Offer Up.
Offer Up. It's an app. They sell furniture on there. They sell everything on there. It's called Offer Up. Offer OFFER Up. Offer Up if you want to sponsor us. Thank you. Um,
No. I think, do you want to give them? Because when I was applying, one of the things that really set me back from applying for commitment, I should have came here earlier,
mhm.
but I was indecisive in regards to whether it works out financially. Like, how much is it that you'll save back monthly?
Yeah.
Do you think, like, all right? So if do you think me no want put my business out there? I mean,
Hmm.
no,
Not
but
put
I
your
mean, I
business.
think
You want to
yeah,
be honest
because
without
you want
telling
to be
people your
honest with
business.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have, it depends on where you are and depends on what your county pays. Um, you can at least save. Let me put it at 300 because if you take care loan, certain things kind of deplete itself. But you can at
Most
least
people I know
save
who took a car loan is they're paying at least $500 for their loan and $300 for their insurance. So
for
$800 and
insurance,
all out of them pay.
right? Plus, um, light, light not have to be all that expensive. Can be like what, around $60.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you live, how much persons are living there, and how much electricity usage, gas. They're more than they're the highest may have gas come to $105 and or 131. But then again, it's a whole. It's not just one person living here. So for me, it's different. Um, Water, that's included. Rent, it depends on where you are. I
Mhm.
would say depends on, like, there are places in South Carolina for $500 for one bedroom or two bedroom or whatever it is.
While I
But for
am paying
Georgia,
$1,350. Okay.
yeah, your one's still cheap because a two bedroom, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mine is 1742.
For two bedroom?
It's it's a two
Two
bed, two
bedroom?
bath. Yeah.
Two bed. I want to live up at Cherry Garden. Cherry Garden, want to live.
Hopper St.
Up at
Andrew.
St. Andrew, want to live.
Yeah. Let me just be clear that I did not select this place. The
Is
the
the house you
program
live in our
sponsor did.
apartment?
It's an apartment. And we got that's a discounted teacher price. It's seven hundred
Wow.
and fifty something, I think, but
There
we
are
get a
cheaper
little
ones
more.
in the area,
Anyways,
Chantal.
or
You
60.
know there are
There
cheaper
are
ones in the
cheaper
area.
ones. There are
Okay.
cheaper ones. I like this one though because them fix things and whatever, and if something broken
I
or
want
whatever.
fix things
But
too.
they're cheaper ones, like, cause me not have the
Lights
money for stay here,
included.
so no, only water is included. There are cheaper ones. For example, there's one across me that's for $1,100 for a one bedroom, and for two bedroom it's like 1250 up.
We were living in a
Um,
studio when we just got here. Our studio apartment was $1,000, which included light, water, and everything. That was our studio apartment, and it was still expensive because other people in our area were living in like one bedroom, full one bedroom for like 800, 850, while we were paying $1,000 for a studio apartment. And it was
yeah,
it's like your gunshot at night time, but okay.
yeah, that's another thing too. Like in Jamaica, we say, "Boy, I'm not live down a Tivoli,
Spanish town.
you live at Tivoli a foreign door." But Tivoli, I know a gunshot, and that may make you want your gunman shift to everything, and that may make you know, uh, that may make you
Anyway,
know.
guys, if we have no
But
more
yeah.
questions,
But five, you can at least save. Let me put it 300. I don't know how people spend $300 to $1,000. The lease, the lease, and depending on your salary, because different people get different salary. Yeah, you can save that the least. Now put it from 3 to 1,000 because everybody's
can be
salary
more than a
different and
thousand
some
too.
counties pay higher, and some people can save more. Maybe you can save on 12. It all depends on your situation, your living condition, how much you pay for rent, if it's split up, if bills split up, or if you're doing it on your own, if you have a husband there to help
Mhm.
you with certain
And
things,
guys, you
if
know
you
what?
have kids and if you don't have kids.
Living
So
in a
that's just to
county,
be
living in a county
um
that pays higher is not necessarily green, I know, because it probably mean more problem. Because a coworker of mine was telling me about Atlanta public schools, their starting pay, and I can't just say this because none of us here are in Atlanta public schools. Their starting pay is 55,000 for a first year teacher with a degree. So you know that it turn up if you have a master's, or turn up if you have more years of service. That is a really good salary, by the way, 55,000 for the year. But in those public schools, I heard that teachers having their cars stolen by students. Oh my God, is what you're willing to face. But anyway, guys, Tanya, I'm not sure if you're talking, but we're not hearing. We're
I'm
not
missing
not
that
hearing you,
one.
Tanya. I think you're speaking, and I see where your microphone is on, but I'm not hearing you for some reason. But we are mic check, Tanya. Mm-mm. It not. All right, we're not hearing you, Tanya, but we're gonna wrap up. If there's nothing else that Chantal has to say, there's nothing else. Well, we can't hear Tani. Thank you all for being here once more. We will have another live next week, Saturday. The time will be earlier because these people are in China and China is like 13 hours ahead of us. So live will be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. China time or Beijing time. So tune into that live, listen to what Jamaican teachers in China have to say, and of course, a week after that, we'll be talking to teachers in England. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't liked the live yet, please go ahead and like it.
This
If
was
you
a
haven't
good one.
subscribed,
This was I enjoyed doing this. Like I was shy at first, and me never want myself out there like that. Come
thank you,
very
Simone.
private, but I
Uh-huh.
enjoyed it. I really did.
Yay. And thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Tani. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't liked the video yet, please go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends. Even though we're going to go offline, the video will be here. I think it will process in a few hours, but this live will be online for you all to watch afterwards. Thank you all once more. See you next week at 8 a.m. when we meet with our Chinese, Jamaicanese teachers. Bye, guys.
Bye.